found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Yours truly, Antonio Basilio here, you there. Let's do this thing. It's a Friday edition. Huguely will be in the house, presented by our friends. You better bow thy head when you say thy name, because Gufan Moving and Storage has it going on. It's a Friday. We're proud to be with you on this Friday. Look, we're the show that kind of tells you like it is. We told you that Tennessee was in this entire transfer portal. What we call this in? This is a little dispensation we've been in the last couple of weeks. That they've been telling people one of the reasons it's been slow behind the scenes is due to the fact that, lo and behold, tell me, well, okay, that we're on probation and we're not going to cheat and we're going to quote unquote follow the rules. And many of you, said, oh, you're doing in hearsay and you're doing what I'm doing. And then the AD gets out there yesterday and says exactly what I was telling you. Exactly what I was telling you. So, it's a very interesting thing. We've got Kentucky in town tomorrow. Another interesting thing. Obviously, we'll be on with Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime as soon as that game's over. the the Danny White comments, let me get into it, because Adam Sparks is going to join us after Huguely Bear. And Daniel, and I want to get your thoughts on what he said as well, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, but the thing about Danny White, let me read a couple of his comments, and then we'll get into it. Because some of you have seen the comments, some of you haven't, and it's cool. For those of you that have, just a little refresher here, and to those of you who haven't, this is going to be kind of illuminating for you and sort of eye-opening, but maybe explanatory for what's going on in the portal so far, because Tennessee's had kind of a weird run here in the portal. The Penn State guys are great. The defensive additions are great. They lost a defensive lineman yesterday they thought they had, who wiggled off and went somewhere else. The special teams player that I really like from Oklahoma State's going somewhere else now. So, I mean, and I saw where Austin Price said, the transfer portal giveth and it taketh away, and that's just kind of the nature of it. Here we are on a Friday. We're going to wait and see what and whom they can talk into the portal. But Adam Sparks is going to join us. So Danny White gave 3 interviews yesterday. He gave one to Mike Keith. He gave one to Brent Hubbs. He gave one to Adam Sparks. The one to Mike Keith, was kind of about the financials. And Mike does a great job, I think Mike does a terrific job. He does a great job as play-by-play voice. He does a great job as the voice of the deal. By the way, Twitter's down today, so those of you that are catching us over on YouTube, catch us on YouTube. I don't know how to say that, but Twitter's not working right now. So the Spaces isn't working. The video isn't working. None of that's working. I don't know what's happened here, but they have an outage of some sort. But Danny White attempted to explain UT's tepid portal showing to Adam Sparks, and here's what he says. As the beat goes on, if we're hunting for a quarterback here on a final day of the portal, and look, you can always pull somebody out of it. Kid from Ohio went in yesterday, but, that's a kid that's trying to get a 7th year. And, I'm kind of with Bino on that, even though we're hunting a guy, and I guess he'd be kind of intriguing. But I'm kind of with Bino. You play 7 years or 6 years, you've had your career. I mean, what are you going to be, Chris Wenke, winning a Heisman Trophy at 30? Because Orange Throat asked today, does Tennessee have a portal problem? And the short answer is yes, they do. They're just not on the front foot. But there's a backstory to that. They're not on the front foot because organizationally, their athletic director doesn't want them to be on the front foot. First of all, Adam Sparks, and we'll get him to talk about this, points out that, believe it or not, the guy at the forefront of this over there for Tennessee is the guy that was over compliance, and he's very good. He's a very good administrator. I mean, it's not like he's a goofball, but he's the guy that was over the compliance stuff when Jeremy Pruitt was in the house back in the day, and did a really nice job of calling the cops on Tennessee's own party, saved Tennessee some money on Pruitt's buyout, all that good stuff. Danny White says the following to Adam Sparks: there are schools that don't intend to submit NIL deals through the NIL clearinghouse. And I think that's a low integrity move. It's akin to paying players under the table in the old world. If we're going to have rules, and by the way, this is yesterday afternoon, Adam interviewed him. If we're going to have rules, then people need to follow them. And if they don't, there needs to be penalties. He goes on to say, we want to dominate college sports, but I don't think we're dominating it if we create the next big scandal around here. Now, remember one thing I told you about Danny. 2 things. First of all, this is not going to be his last job. He's a young guy. And he's not a 20-year at one school type guy. He's just not. So, and his dad, was a kind of a jump around guy, and that's sort of that industry. Danny White seems to me like a guy that kind of fashions himself. I don't know. I don't want to project and say this out loud, but he's a little better in this place, if you know what I mean. And so Danny, does he want to be a commissioner maybe? Does he want to be like a czar over this thing when it's all said and done? Moving along. He said, we're still under NCAA probation from the last one. We need to win with integrity. Now, when I told you earlier this week that they were telling people behind the scenes that one of the excuses they were making, and it is an excuse. I mean, we can call it what it is, and call it what you will. Don't call it love. Utopia. Those of you who know Todd Rundgren's catalog, good for you. That's good. That's good stuff right there. But he says we're still under NCAA probation from the last one. We need to win with integrity. And that's what I said when I got here. That's exactly what we're going to do. Hey, Danny, when you got here, we were coming off the probationary period, and we're in the throes of it. We were coming off a scandal. Our athletic director was breaking film down instead of watching the hen house. And there was no NIL. So what are you talking about? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? We're still under NCAA probation from last one. We need to win with integrity. That's what I said when we got here. What does that even mean? He said it doesn't mean we're not going to win as much. We can win without breaking the rules. Danny, no, you can't. Danny, your football coach will not stay employed if you guys don't start breaking the rules on NIL. No. Nope. Sorry. No. No. I'm sorry. And then he had a quote, and I'm just going to say that, we've gone from the Life Championship and Life Champions to the Integrity Program. We're the everything school. Now we're the Integrity School. Now that has to really excite the fan base, because you're going to see a diminished football product because we're following the rules. In an era, literally, where there are no rules. Literally, there are no rules. Now, I'm telling you right now, they are following the rules. I'm telling you right now, it's a point of frustration with people. Because people are saying, well, Tony, what do you expect them to say? I'll read somebody here. King GG95, never seen you. But a good comment. What do we do? Expect them to shut up and stay out of the way? He also goes on to say, of course we don't expect them to publicly say we're cheating. Hey, King, they're on the back foot, buddy. I don't know how to tell you this. And they've been on the back foot the whole time because they're not playing in the gray like the other SEC schools are. I don't know how to tell you that. I will tell you that I visit with agents. I will tell you that the reputation on Tennessee is that they're playing it by the book. And if you play it by the book, he's telling you the truth, King. You can choose to believe whether or not that's true. People didn't believe me earlier in the week when I said it. And it was true then. He said it. It's true now. It is true, and it was true. Now, you can choose to believe it, King, or you can choose to not believe it. But I'm telling you right now, what he's saying is true. Now, the question is, why is he saying what he's saying? And Mike Huguelen's going to join us on the other side. This is the real question, okay? First of all, this isn't going to be Danny White's last job. He's a young guy. He's got high aspirations. Maybe a commissioner, maybe Notre Dame's AD one day. Who knows? But Danny White, in this latest deal, now this is pre this agreement. This is pre the House agreement. $77 million profit on football. $16 million men's basketball. Women's hoops lost $4 million, and the other sports together lost a bunch of money. Okay, fine. This is all before rev share. The rank and file fan asked the following. If you have a $77 million profit on football, why would you hesitate to go get a at market value quarterback? But the answer is there's only so much rev share money to go around. We're going to talk to Adam Sparks later about this. There's only so much when you start looking at the nuts and bolts of this, and Adam's really good at it. But there's only so much, like 75% of the revenue goes to football. And so there's only so much to go around. Fans think, oh, well, you're going to go out. Because one of the things Danny says is, look, if you're allowed to spend as much money as you want, which, by the way, you are. But Danny says, if we're allowed to do that, we'll be the New York Yankees. I mean, talk is cheap. I say talk is cheap. I'm calling Barbara Streisand on that. I say talk is cheap. Because Danny loves his revenue figures. You know why? Because those revenue figures and how much you're bringing in versus your expenditures really make him look great. Keep that payroll. Show more. But I don't want to conflate the two. Danny appeals right here, and he's appearing as sort of a paragon of virtue in this thing. I'm a little better than this deal. I'm high-minded. Here's the thing, though. This is the truth, okay? There's a couple things here that are kind of in play that sort of could make this thing interesting. One, go out this football season, don't find a quarterback, play the two kids and struggle. 6-6, 7-5. I mean, it's certainly possible. We talked yesterday. I don't think the SEC is going to be... The SEC seems like in the NIL era that it's slipping a little bit. The standing of the league is slipping. Alabama's certainly slipping. There's no doubt about that. The two Texas schools are kind of gathering steam, but A&M's always going to A&M. It's a truism. I don't know why that exists, but that exists. Both those teams are on our schedule this year. LSU's absolutely spending like drunken sailors, but their offensive line isn't very good this fall. So there's a lot of variance in what could happen this fall. But there certainly exists a path where Tennessee goes 6-6 this fall. I don't think there's any question. That is certainly possible. You do that, and that seat could get hot for his head coach and for him, quite frankly. The other thing that could happen is, what about if Rick Barnes walks away at the end of the season? That creates exposure for him. You know, there's been little chatters, little whispers about Barnes. And we were talking about it with Mark Griffin the other day. I don't think it's going to happen. But, Barnes has had his career. He's a Hall of Fame basketball coach. He's made enough money for 4 lifetimes. I mean, stranger things have happened. All of a sudden, Danny's little walking around, talking loud and seeming proud, all of a sudden, all that stuff is kind of out there. So I'm going to ask Tony, why don't you interview Danny Dollars? Well, we've invited him. He ain't going to come on here. He's not going to come on here. So, not going to come on here. And that's okay. He doesn't have to. Because that interview yesterday and those quotes he gave Adam Sparks are just so interesting and illustrative. He either did them to set himself up. There's either a couple reasons why he did it. He's either trying to prepare you for a kind of a tepid season, which is possible, or he's trying to set himself up and set himself apart from his peers in this era. Because remember, Danny, one thing that I agree with Danny on is Danny wants to get the collective bargaining, and he's right about that. Till they get the collective bargaining, the sport's silly. And Danny White has been saying that. They don't like him in his profession. The other ADs don't like what Danny's saying. But he's right. You need collective bargaining in this deal. But this is interesting. This is him saying that out loud yesterday surprises me. Very surprising. Because it is how they're behaving. I don't think Heupel has the best, how do I put this, organization, just from people I talk to, in terms of being out there and getting out there first and buttoned up in terms of this NIL stuff. I don't. I also think they're handcuffed by the AD, by the approach. Now, I don't know why you would choose to handcuff yourself. You know, another possibility, if you just kind of think it out, you game it out in your head, maybe the NCAA is kind of leaning on these teams that do have a little probation on them and saying, hey, we're watching you, we'll make an example out of you. That is possible. I mean, I will certainly say, in all fairness to him, that that's possible. It's just really odd he would say it out loud. It's really odd he would tell the fans, you know, we're playing in the SEC and everybody else is sort of ignoring the rules, but we're going to play by them. And by the way, I'm going to charge you full price. I'm going to charge you top dollar basically in the league for the right to buy these tickets. And we're going to continue to go up, 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 up. And what else, you know what else confuses the fans, and then we'll take a time out here, is the concept of the talent fee. Because the fans are going, now wait a second here. My tickets keep going up, charging me a huge talent fee. I thought this is so we can win. But now you're telling me that we're going to be high-minded with this and we're not going to spend like the New York Yankees. I just think the whole thing is really, 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 really interesting. So we'll take a brief time out. 865-200-5402. And look, we're going to open the phones up later on about this, and people have viewpoints that are kind of all over the place. I think it's an interesting thing to tell your fans in February, right as the portal's closing, that, you know what, we're competing, but we're going to be the integrity school. In an era literally where Texas Tech is going, okay, and while you do that, I'm going to buy another guy from an SEC team. And by the way, while you're doing this interview, 2 other guys are slipping out of your hands and are going to other schools. I don't know. Is that cause and effect? Is that just a coincidence? You tell me. I don't pretend to have the answers. I tell you this. I told you Monday, because I knew it was a fact, that I knew people that would give a lot of money that were calling over there. And they can't get Danny on the phone. Danny's the Queen of England. I told you that. He's not the King of England. He's the Queen of England. You can't get him on the phone. And they say, what's the deal? And they were told, hey, look, I'm not going to tell you this, but we're still on probation. And we can't do what the other schools are doing. So, I mean, beyond that backdrop, I said it on the air, and we wrote it on Monday. And some of you said, I don't believe that. Now, let me ask you something. Now that the athletic director said it, do you believe it? And I will accept your apology. Thank you. Very little. We'll continue with more. Huguely joins the fray. And then Adam Sparks, who really had the scoop of scoops yesterday. That piece yesterday is one of the more interesting things I've seen. Continue with more after this. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Guffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Guffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Guffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Start the new year with comfort and savings from Pipe Wrench Home Services. Tired of high energy bills and constant heating and AC repairs? Ready for a more efficient home? There's never been a better time to upgrade your comfort and take control of your energy costs. Upgrade your HVAC system now with Pipe Wrench Home Services and make no payments until 2027. A new energy-efficient system means lower bills, fewer breakdowns, and peace of mind for years to come. And with Pipe Wrench Home Services same-day service guarantee, you won't wait to start enjoying a more comfortable home. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Upgrade your HVAC system now with Pipe Wrench Home Services and make no payments until 2027. Schedule your free estimate today at pipewrench.com. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer good with approved credit. Some restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Tony B back with you. 865-200-5402 is the numero dos. Now joining us on the program, hold the calls, Mike Huguely with our usual Friday appearance. And today he's coming in hot. Huguely and I were talking. He's coming in hot. And I can't say as I'd blame him. And he wants to talk about this whole issue with NIL, which we're going to get into because it's really the story in the deal. And I love that it's here. Look, the next iteration of college sports is going to make it better. But this chaos for what we do, I mean, it's just so intriguing. It's so intriguing. And John Adams is in here today for Beano Jeff Henderson. And also the great Matt Diskin will be here as well because it's the Kentucky game, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Kentucky game, and we are fired up, focused, and prepared. It's Kentucky weekend. We're pretty pumped about that. But let's, without further ado, he's presented by Gufon Moving and Storage. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, put your hands together, meet and greet, coming in hot, Mike Huguely. Hughie, how we doing, buddy?
Waiting for Monday night to get here.
Yep.
But there certainly is enough going on the periphery to keep us entertained and tick us off at the same time.
Let's talk about, because Danny White gave an interview to Adam Sparks, but other ADs are talking about it as well. Share with us your viewpoint on this conversation about the rev share, the poaching of players, the schools that are cheating, the whole thing.
Okay. It's obviously a problem. You got coaches everywhere complaining about it, ADs complaining about it.
Yep.
You had the conference commissioners complaining about it. You had the Big Ten willing to join in with Washington in a lawsuit if quarterback DeMond Williams didn't live up to his NIL contract. My issue with all this is if you're complaining and bitching and moaning, you have to call out specific schools because everybody knows this is going on. And Danny White, and I can remember a couple of years ago when Mac Brown said, someone's offered Drake May $5 million to transfer, and I think it was Joel Klatt said, yeah, that's right. Well, which school? Well, we're not going to say. Well, then don't say anything. If you don't have the intestinal fortitude or onions, as Raftery would call it, to call out specific schools, you got to stop complaining. If this is such a gigantic problem, this is a closed society, college athletics, in that if your neighbor's doing something you don't like, you don't call the HOA and say, hey, there's somebody in our neighborhood that's running the meth lab. Well, who is it? I don't know. I just know there's one being run. So and obviously I'm being hyperbolic there, but you need to call out specific schools, specific coaches if they're cheating. Yesterday afternoon, Frank Selfo, he's the coach at Southeastern Louisiana, an FCS school. He responded to a tweet by the Georgia president, Jerry Moorhead, who's part of a working group to sort of try to get all this kind of stuff worked out. And Moorhead said, if the NCAA can't solve this problem, maybe it's time for the leagues to solve it on their own, but whatever. And Selfo's point was, hey, Dr. Moorhead, make sure everything in your league is clean before you start pontificating. I'm paraphrasing. He said, I had a GM from one of your schools call up my players and tell them to enter the portal. Now, that's obviously illegal. My question to Selfo is, why didn't you say the school? And I guess the only reason is Selfo thinks he maybe can get back to a Power 4 job one day. And maybe these coaches look at what happened to Bruce Pearl when he turned in Illinois all those years ago, and it took him a long time to get back to where he wanted to be. But enough coaches and administrators have started complaining about their neighbors. Well, start saying these neighbors by their name, or else shut up.
John Adams, you of the Knoxville News Sentinel. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. Great Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams. Mike Huguely saying, look, if you're going to complain about schools cheating and schools doing this, schools doing that, and you're giving these quotes to the public, name names. Name names. Otherwise, we're just going around in circles. Do you agree with that, John?
Well, sure. And I had trouble hearing some of Mike's comments.
Yeah, but that's okay. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I got the gist of it. I think, he's right. But we've seen this in the past. We've seen it with different schools, different sports. Back in the old days, before NIL and any of that stuff, in transfer portal, we would hear these innuendos that some programs aren't following the letter of the law.
Yep.
Well, anybody can say that, but it comes across as nothing but an excuse. It's like, oh, we have all these resources, and we can be a dominant power in college sports.
Yeah.
But we've got to follow the rules, and some people aren't doing that, so that's giving them an edge. That's just the wrong thing to say. I'm really surprised that Danny White would say that, because he's right about some issues like collective bargaining. That's the ultimate solution to all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's been a proponent for that for a long time. So I agree with him on that. But he's been outspoken on that. A lot of people won't speak up, but to speak up like this and say it comes across as an excuse. He's saying Tennessee has all this money, and fans are contributing to that with talent fees and so forth. He's saying all that's going on with Tennessee. However, Tennessee will follow the letter of the law and other schools won't, and that's unfortunate, and that needs to be corrected. Well, if you want to correct it, call them out and give concrete examples and file a complaint.
Huguely, you're saying the same thing, which is bring receipts. Here's what Danny White says. There are schools that don't intend to submit NIL deals through the NIL clearinghouse, and I think that's a low-integrity move. It's akin to paying players under the table in the old world. And he tells Adam Sparks that one day before the transfer portal closes, you would like to see him say, there are schools like, okay, we know one, Texas Tech. They do not intend to submit NIL. LSU, they do not intend to submit NIL deals. Now, I don't know how he knows that. It seems like an assumption. I think he's right. But you would like to see him say, there are schools like da-da-da-da-da-da-da in our conference, and then da-da-da-da-da-da in their conference, and then all of a sudden we're having a conversation if you do that. That's kind of your point, Huguely.
Like John said, this has been going on forever, and even back, and I can remember stuff in the 80s. So-and-so grew up as a fan of State U, and all of a sudden he signs with Tech. And then State U people would say, well, he was going to come here, but they did stuff that we weren't, we don't follow the same kind of rule book, obviously, that Tech does, so we picked Tech. Well, basically they're saying, hey, they paid him off. But, that kind of stuff, that killed the Southwest Conference. So other school, and part of the reason in the Southwest Conference was he was going to go to State U, but Tech outbid them. And Tech now is out, in real life, Tech is actually outbidding people. But if you're going to say A, B, and C these schools there are schools breaking the rules in an egregious manner, we'll call out the schools specifically, and I would say the same thing for Selfo. Hey, President Moorhead, clean up your own backyard. You got 3 schools in your league, A, B, and C, who are calling my players, telling them to enter the portal. You're not going to stop this unless you self-police yourself, and that's part of the issue I've had with the NCAA forever. You had schools bitching and moaning about NCAA rules. You chose to join the NCAA. It's a member organization that wrote its own rules. And again, coaches have immense power these days. And I think if School A has $25 million and is willing to spend it legally, and School B has $40 million and is spending $15 illegally, then the School A coach and administrator should say, School B is breaking the rules, and here's how we know this.
It's extremely interesting. Hey, John, let me ask you something. As Huguely and John Adams are both two Titans that have been at this a long time, are both in here. I think fans are really confused by Danny White from this perspective, because it looks like one thing, and then he tells Adam Sparks something else. On one hand, it's we need a talent fee, and you're going to pay extra now for your tickets so we can get the best players. That's how that was presented when we had a talent fee, right? And then all of a sudden it's now that you're paying your talent fee and you're paying more money, we're going to be the integrity school. John, that's not what they said. John, that's not what he said at the outset of this thing. That's not how they presented it, John, is it, in the spring last year?
No, it was he was voicing a need, and that Tennessee needed money, basically, is the message, and you need to provide it. And that's why a talent fee will be enacted. It was sort of a call for help. If you want to keep up with the other programs, the top programs, and if you want Tennessee to have an elite program in sports, then you need to pay a talent fee, okay? And so fans are paying that fee. And what are they getting in return? They're not getting a championship program. So why aren't they? And so Danny's explaining why. It's because other programs are cheating and Tennessee isn't. Well, that's not what fans want to hear, because we talk about cheating now. First of all, this clearinghouse for NIL deals and all this stuff, as soon as any of that is challenged in court, it will go away. And that's why schools aren't abiding by this stuff, because they know if it goes to court, it won't be upheld. The only way to do it is through players, athletes as employees.
Yes.
And have a collective bargaining agreement, just like they do in pro sports with the NFL.
And Danny's right about that, by the way, John. The thing is, Danny's one of the guys beating the drum for the collective bargaining, and he's right about that. And he's also right that there are programs out there that are not doing fair market value. For instance, Mike Huguely, if I were to say to you, in Lubbock, Texas, they're probably paying north of $50 million for their payroll. If you really want us to believe that these NIL deals are about name, image, and likeness and marketing, how in the world can you justify $50 million in a tiny, small, podunk town? No offense to where Texas Tech is, but in a tiny, small, podunk, out of nowhere, not even around any major market, town like Lubbock, Texas. The answer is you can't, Huguely. You can't. It's pay for play.
Like Ty Simpson said that Miami called him and said, according to Ty Simpson, they were going to give me $6 million in NIL if I stayed in college and transferred there. $6 million for one player. It's out of control. We all know that, but the potential exists for it to be tamped down greatly. But the problem is you got people throwing out accusations and saying this school does this school, but they don't put any schools to the name. So names to the schools rather. So again, I think every college sports fan knows there's a lot of shenanigans going on in college football, college basketball, maybe even college baseball and college softball and women's basketball. Well, if there is, then coaches need to start stepping up and administrators need to start stepping up and saying these schools are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. If that's what the college sports world wants, then fine, remove these guardrails and we'll do whatever we want. But there's supposedly some guardrails in place, so some of these schools need to be held accountable And I think everybody out there knows some of the schools. I think one of them is playing Monday night. I think LSU's one. Texas Tech certainly is one. I think there are. Plus, I think there's more than one or two schools in the SEC doing this. I also think that, when Tennessee signed Nico, I think everybody was like, "Oh my God, the Vols are going to be spending buku bucks in this era," and that mindset appears to have gone away. So, but again, I think if schools really think that stuff's out of control, then start naming names, or don't talk about this at all.
Why won't they name Texas Tech? Why won't the guy at Louisiana say Texas Tech? Why won't the guy at Louisiana say the school name that you were talking about?
I think the Southeast Louisiana guy
Southeast
is
Louisiana
LSU.
Okay, well, say their name.
Thank you.
Say the name.
I think Selfo maybe
right, so Ricky
that,
Sanchez.
I
say
want
the
to
name.
Power 4 again one day, and he's been in Power 4 before, or at least in FBS. And if I'm known as the squealer or whatever, I won't get another job in FBS. And again, it's like Bruce Pearl came out and said, "Here's what Illinois is doing. They're paying $85,000 to Deion Thomas," and then he spent the next 15 years in Division II.
So check this out. I've got a neighbor who has a moving need, and they're getting ready to move. And I'm out there, yard the other day, playing music and walking up and down the street, doing what I'm doing, looking like a guy who's semi casing the joint, like I'm getting ready to rob a house. John, you know me, the way I look, and I make conversation with them. I say, "Yeah, I'm like, oh man, we're sorry to see y'all go, and hey, can I suggest a moving company to you?" "Sure, I don't have a mover." I said, "Listen, Gufon Moving and Storage, they've been at it since 1887. Now, Goldbrick Joe just moved. He said he had an incredible experience with our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. They've been at it for 139 years now, since 1887. That's incredible. That's 5 generations. That's longer than we've been on probation, it feels like. Danny White's probation. John, you like how all of a sudden we're back on probation? Did they ever acknowledge that before this? John, what are they doing? Saying we're on probation. What is that, John? What does that even mean? Did I lose you, John? What happened to John? John, did I lose you? You've muted yourself. What does that even mean, John? We're on probation. Talk to me.
Well, here's the thing about if you want to stress the importance of following rules.
Yeah. Let's go join the Ivy League.
That's totally old school now.
Yes. Let's go join the Ivy League.
Yeah, you can't enforce these rules. As I said earlier, you just go to court, an athlete or a school or somebody goes to court.
That's exactly
and
right.
This will not be upheld. You can't, and if you can't stop, if somebody wants to pay somebody else money, it's really hard to prevent that. Another thing, a point I want to make based on your comment about moving, if someone looking like you would maybe playing music,
yes,
or whatever instrument you might have been carrying at the time,
mandolin, yes,
you wandered into my neighborhood,
yes,
I would make a call to my best police friend.
Well, that's what they think, because they look at me and they're like, "This guy looks like he's casing the joint." That's what I said. But my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, online at GufonMovingandStorage.com, and they're wonderful. And we'll tell you a little bit more about them before we get to the mover of the week, as Huguely's in the house today. Hey, Huguely, is there a chance that the NCAA, because I'm trying to figure out why Danny White said what he said, is there a chance that the NCAA, in an attempt to show some muscle, has told Tennessee and a couple of these other schools that are on probation, "Hey, we're watching you. Private eyes, we're watching you. We see your every move." Is there a chance that's going on here? That they're trying to show some muscle to the Tennessees of the world?
Hall & Oates song?
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think the NCAA has much muscle, because I agree with John. I think there's a lot of stuff that the NCAA thinks it can do, and then when it goes to court, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right, we can't do that." So I think that the idea of the whole NIL clearinghouse was a noble idea, but I don't think it has any teeth. And again, I think part of it is the schools that signed up for this NIL clearinghouse, on the one hand, they're signing right-handed, yep, we agree with this, and with their left hand, they're giving out money and they're breaking the rules. So they're talking out of both sides of their mouth.
Yes.
And I think that, again, it's like, oh, yeah, see, look, we got the NIL clearinghouse.
Yes.
We're trying to get this cleaned up. Oh, wait a second. We need to go way over budget, and we need to break the rules to sign that quarterback. Fine, do it. We don't care. Because they know that, I think they know, every Power 4 AD knows that the NIL clearinghouse, if it comes down to it, it's not, nothing's going to get held up. But again, this is a group that these schools chose to join. Every school signed up for the NIL clearinghouse, and then you got half of them saying, that's BS. And so, why should anybody take it seriously if half the members don't take it seriously?
John, that's such a great point. Half the members don't take it seriously. And Huguely says, why would you even sign up for something that you're just literally going to disregard, which is exactly what's happened. And the other thing, John, is I can't wait for them to strike a deal down. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to rubber stamp everything Texas Tech's doing. I think they're going to rubber stamp everything LSU's doing. I think they're going to rubber stamp everything Texas is doing. And the reason I think they're going to do that is they like having the Duluth-Tuish people like having something to do. Everybody likes the money that it's going to create. And I don't think they're going to strike deals down, John. How about you? And then I'll ask Huguely the same question. Is John there? Are they going to strike these? Go ahead.
They won't strike deals down because once they go to court, they lose.
That's right.
That's been well established.
That's my prediction.
You can't enforce what they're trying to do, and that's why Danny White is absolutely correct about going to a collective bargaining. But one thing about this, how Texas Tech has come up as an example. You know what it reminds me of? Years ago, in college basketball with UNLV. Remember how good UNLV was? Mm-hmm. And the more established blue blood basketball programs would complain about some of these schools out there. Jerry Tarkanian took a lot of heat because UNLV kind of came out of nowhere. The established powers don't like somebody coming out of nowhere. Do you think UNLV was cheating any worse than Kentucky was in basketball? Of course not. So to think that a school like Texas Tech is the only one doing this, how do we know Ohio State's not doing it, or Michigan, or anybody else?
Huguely, how many teams, like say in the SEC, right? You got a 16-team league? How many of those teams do you think outside of Tennessee, who I do think are following the rules, because I talk to people internally who are really frustrated by how slow they are and how on the back foot they are in the portal, and that's what they're telling people. Hey, we're kind of handcuffed over here. And we've been getting this from boosters. They've been telling people, hey, we're on quote unquote on probation, which is, who knew? The Who song that unfortunately it's being bastardized by Walmart. When I hear that, I shudder when I hear "Who Are You" being used in that form and fashion. But at any rate, it's another song quote for you. Huguely, are you a Who fan?
Yeah, and the irony would be, "Who are you?" because it had a curse word in it, wouldn't have been sold by Walmart at the time.
So moving along, thank you, Huguely. I appreciate that. Huguely, from your perspective, if you were let's just spitball, okay? We're not going to name names. How many teams in this league are coloring outside the lines on NIL, do you think?
Okay, if you're convinced that Tennessee is not,
well, they're saying they're not.
I'll say 15 of 16.
Thank you.
I thought it was 16 of 16.
Thank you. It's news to me. John, how many teams outside the SEC are coloring outside the lines right now?
How many teams outside the SEC?
No, in the SEC, rather, outside of Tennessee, who claims they're not, okay? How many teams are not coloring, are staying within these rules, do you think, in this league?
Well, there are different rules here, but if you look at all the rules and
Right.
say, are all the schools following all the rules?
Yes.
I would say none of them, Tennessee included.
Well, that's probably true. But, to Danny White's perspective, this whole concept of real and fair market value and issuing,
Yes.
running them up the flagpole. See, I think where Danny gets it wrong is you can still run it up the flagpole and rubber stamp it and get it through. I think this is an excuse, personally. That's my read on it. Because I'm with John. I don't see the clearinghouse saying, oh, by the way, no, you can't make that deal. You know why? We haven't heard of that yet. You know why we haven't heard of that yet? If they do that, the first person they do that to, that agent is going to say, we'll see you in court, and they are out of business. Because as soon as they go to court and they try to restrict your right to earn, they've already proven that at the Supreme Court level. You can't do this. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. And it'll be struck down. And Danny White knows that, by the way. But they're still on quote-unquote probation. And I'm telling you, behind the scenes, they've tamped down this portal activity and this go-around, and it's really frustrated everybody involved, including the boosters who have paid big money for this. And that, Hughie, that's where the rubber meets the road, because you say Danny White, once again, should have named names. And that if you're going to tell Adam Sparks that, name names.
Yeah, and also, if you're Josh Heupel, I'm not, or, if you're Josh Heupel, you're thinking, I am not following the same rule book that Lane Kiffin is.
Exactly.
He's in my league.
Exactly.
My job is on the line, and that's ultimately every coach out there should be. And see, that's what irritates me about coaches. They moan and complain all the time, and yet none of them ever step up and say, you know something. School A is cheating so badly it's unreal.
Yeah.
Or School C is cheating so badly their basketball team, it's a joke. But nope, you got coaches who will grit their teeth and moan about, oh, it's unfair. Well, which schools are playing unfair? I don't want to get into that. So, I mean, then again, it irritates me. It's like a 5-year-old kid. They're crying and complaining. What's wrong? Well, nobody's paying attention to me. But that's not what coaches want, the attention, so they can say we got people in our league, people in our sport who aren't following the rules, and yet they won't step up and say who those schools and coaches are.
Huguely Bear, presented by our friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage. It's time for the Gouffon Moving and Storage Mover of the Week. They're online at Gouffon.com. Again, Gouffon.com. We have a link over at tclub.team with our blog today. I write extensively a little analysis of why Danny White, or what Danny White said. I even get a Coach Filmer reference in there today over on the blog at tclub.team. But the truth about Gouffon Moving and Storage is that Taylor is the 5th generation. I shout it out loud. And they offer secure, vaulted storage, our newest offering of commercial storage logistics. They offer receiving storage, delivery services for all your business logistic needs. And folks have responded here and have done business with them, and we appreciate you doing that because it helps keep us in business, and it keeps us doing what we do, which is celebrating sports and our Tennessee Volunteers each and every day on the air through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the weird. And this quote from Danny White, those quotes are weird. But he is right. We've got to get to collective bargaining. But now, without further ado, it is time for the Mover of the Week from my man Mike Huguely.
Yeah, I'm going to pick college basketball as a whole because of what came out yesterday with all the gambling stuff. The Athletic today wrote a story about the games that were fixed. And you go through and read them, and and it just makes you sadder and sadder. People were betting six figures on the first half of Southland Conference games. And you're like, what the hell's going on here? They're obviously they're paying players $10,000 and $20,000 to shave points in the first or second half, and they're clearing up to $450,000 on certain bets. The pressure. I'm assuming that there are a lot of college basketball players in Division I who get approached about this, and it's disheartening, disconcerting, discouraging a lot of ways. But again, you got people out there who are making $456,000 on a bet on the first half of the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Northwestern State game. And, again, these are all nondescript games, and maybe they chose nondescript games on purpose. The only quote-unquote big school involved was DePaul, which, if you've seen DePaul play the last couple of years, maybe you're not surprised that some of their players are doing that kind of stuff. But one of the players transferred from DePaul to Eastern Michigan and kept doing the same thing. And, and everybody says, well, the new trigger rules are in effect. Bizarre gambling on certain games is supposed to be flagged. I would argue that if a player does it at DePaul for 2 years and then Eastern Michigan for a year, that maybe these big bets aren't being flagged like they're supposed to be. But the whole idea about, you got college kids, one of them was in the conference tournament game, they had to lose by X amount of points, and they did. And you're like, dude, your college career is over. Are you? I just don't understand. I guess I understand the mindset because they're making an easy $20,000, but it's a horrible look for the sport. And I'm a bigger basketball fan than I am a football fan.
Wow.
And I'll be honest, sometimes you watch games and you're like, this makes no sense. And maybe it's not just a bad 5 minutes of play. Maybe it's somebody doing something on purpose.
Well, no question. And here's the other thing. And I was talking with a friend of mine in the industry today who was on the phone talking. He goes, you get a story like that, and people are going to get on the phone with each other. It's just the way it is. Hey, did you see? That's a huge scandal. That story that's a huge. Because here's the thing: the little schools are the ones that get caught. But if we don't think that stuff's going on at the bigger school levels, here's something to consider. We're in the midst of this NIL thing, and it's kind of new, right? But some of these guys that are in these sports for multiple years are going to get jammed up with the IRS because they're not going to take care of their money. Some have accountants, some don't. I mean, obviously, it's like a lot of things. But if you end up owing money to the IRS, and I get wind of that, and I'm in the game fixing business, and I need to get an edge, and need you to shave a point or two, Huguely, what's stopping me from going to you and saying, "Hey, kid, look, $10,000 in it for you, and I know you're jammed up with the IRS, so we can help you. Nobody will know. We'll funnel that money over to you. You pay off your debt, whatever. There's a huge danger, man. There's such a danger.
Not like you said. I mean, again, Texas A&M Corpus Christi versus Northwestern State.
Yep.
So what's going on for all the. I mean, the idea that I can make $50,000 on the first half spread of Merrimack St. Joseph's.
Yep.
What the hell's going on?
Yep.
And prop bets, they're fun to read and all that kind of stuff, but I think they're
scary.
If I'm a college AD,
yep.
I am petrified by prop bets.
The state of Tennessee won't take them. I agree with it.
Which is good.
On college sports. I'll tell you what about prop bets, too. That Class A thing at the pitcher from the Cleveland Indians, my first pitch, that stuff, now they're going to set limits on that in light of what happened there and kind of change the industry. But, man, I'm a hockey fan, and I watch guys just throw pucks to net sometimes that have no chance of going in because they're trying to get shot numbers up. I just look at these sports sometimes now through the lens of, man, the props that are out there, and you wonder what you're seeing. Is it real?
Wonder, again, I don't know the mindset of a gambler, but the idea that I'm going to bet money on the first pitch Emmanuel Closet pitches.
Yes.
What the hell? That's mind-blowing to me.
That's mind-blowing. But, I mean, I guess the next step is betting on raindrops, betting on how many mistakes I make in the first hour. I guess everything, we can get action on everything. Hughie, you're the man. Who wins the national championship Monday night, in your humble opinion?
I think Indiana's going to win a very good game. I think Indiana's a phenomenal story.
Yep.
And I think part of me hopes that Indiana wins because it would be a great story. But there'll be tremendous line play, and I think the difference ultimately will be Mendoza won't make a mistake and Beck will.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Good talking to you.
All right, talk to you next week. Thanks.
Thank you. We come back on the other side, 865-200-5402. Here's the thing about, because somebody's cracking on me about the legalized sports gambling. I think legalized sports gambling is a good thing because it's catching this stuff, personally. I'm a freedom guy from that regard. I'm a freedom guy. I'm of the belief that the college basketball thing, go back to the days where the players weren't making any money. I'm of the belief that there's been a lot of manipulation in college basketball down through the years. I'm of the belief that's going on at the NBA level. They caught the officials in the middle of it a couple years ago. And not only the one guy up in the Philadelphia area they caught literally in the middle of the fixing, but they caught the guys at the NBA level playing around with their mileage and bilking the airline companies out of the frequent flyer. Several of them at the NBA. Let me tell you something. If you're doing that in one area of your life, I'm not here to judge anybody, but if you're doing that in one area of your life, what's to stop you from getting a few dollars out the back door with a little bit of gambling information? So, yeah. I like the legalized sports gambling. I think legalized sports gambling is pretty harmless. Now, there are people out there that have a problem. There are people that have problems with everything. But I'm a freedom guy. Again, that's just me. We're all different. 865-200-5402 as we continue with more after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vols!
Kentucky's in town tomorrow. We're fired up, focused, and prepared for that. And moving right to left across your device. You know, the truth is that that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, both of those teams are what I would call down from where they've been. I think that's probably a fair assessment. But it doesn't matter. Because when those two teams get on the court, it's just a It matters. And it's kind of majestic. And I'm greatly looking forward to it. And I think it's going to be an interesting and a fun game. How does Kentucky respond? We'll be on tomorrow following that one as soon as the game goes final with Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. Shout out to Marcos and all of our terrific sponsors who help present that activity. It's really a great thing. We got an interesting segment here with Adam Sparks. Now, against the backdrop, we bring him in here, is the fact that Tennessee's still quarterback hunting. There is a pretty hard deadline that we're facing. Tennessee's not alone. Miami's also quarterback hunting. Adam somehow got Danny White to go on the record and admit that, well, kind of what we were telling you on earlier in the week, which is that Tennessee's kind of handcuffed themselves with this portal thing. A couple questions I have for Adam off the top that people have brought up here in the YouTube chat, which I appreciate. One is, when does Tennessee's probation end? Now, I would bet you Adam will know that offhand. Me, I would guess it's got to be soon. Danny White's been here, what, close to 5 years? It's got to be very soon. That's one thing I'll ask Adam. Another thing, and Adam's locked and loaded here, another thing that I want to get to with Adam is just this quarterback deal. So let's do the quarterback thing first as I bring Adam Sparks in. Adam, great Friday to you. Appreciate you taking a few for us. It's always good to interface with you, my man. And by the way, congratulations on that. Wow, that stuff you got from Danny White yesterday. There were 3 interviews with him, and man, I mean, you smoked it yesterday. Great stuff with him.
Well, I think that kind of came out of, I didn't expect that. Every year, every January, we do a thing where we, the schools have to submit their financial reports to the NCAA in January on a certain date, a certain way. And so every year I talk to Danny just to go over some of the financials, explain why this revenue, why this expenditure, whatever. And this year was different because this is the first year that NIL is under the purview of the university, at least some of NIL is. And so I just asked him, basically to the layman, explain how these financials are impacted by NIL, by revenue sharing. And he, explained some of that, and then I could tell he did have some frustration in that area, which, we've kind of seen some of that with his Twitter in recent weeks. And so I just asked him more and more questions, and he was happy to talk about it. He's got, obviously that people are reacting to the fact that he's saying people are breaking rules, and if, this should be enforced, and there should be accountability, and there's not. Fans, I would say like 95% of fans have reacted with frustration that he would say that, because the thinking is everybody's breaking rules. If you're not, then you're going to be left behind. What he said about the NIL piece, about how they're following the rules and how you promise money. I believe they are actually following the rules in that way. There's 2 big criticisms he has with the NIL piece, which one is you're not supposed to guarantee third party money. That's against the rule. So you sit down with the kid, you say, hey, here's how much money we can offer you, and then the third party can come in, a collective or whoever, and say, hey, we have some additional money we can offer you. But it has to go through the clearinghouse. And so that's worked out reasonably well with what Tennessee has gotten on defense especially. Those numbers can be more of a challenge when it comes to landing quarterbacks because you can't – let me give you just like a scenario. If you're trying to get a quarterback and you say, hey, we'll give you $4 million, and then at the last minute, somebody comes in and says, we'll give you $6 million. Well, where did that extra $2 million come from? Well, it came from like one guy, and that one guy cannot guarantee that his extra $2 million will go through an NIL clearinghouse. Because an NIL clearinghouse, you're supposed to have like a legitimate business deal. It's supposed to be some promotional thing you do. It's supposed to be real NIL. A corporation can guarantee that because any corporate deals are going to go through the clearinghouse. But just a guy saying, I'm going to give another couple $1 million, and we'll figure out what the contract is later. That's supposed to be against the rules. And so I think that's one of the gripes that Danny has, that people are promising money, not knowing if it even can go through the clearinghouse. And Ross Dellinger wrote about this a little while back.
Yes.
Saying that, guys could be ineligible if that doesn't go through. But we all know that'll end in a lawsuit
That's
one
right.
way or another.
And what happens in the lawsuit? You've been around this a long time. When the lawsuit happens, what will happen? If
the
they strike a deal
clearinghouse
down,
will be deemed illegal.
That's correct. That'll take about 5 minutes in a court of law. And that's why I think the clearinghouse is going to rubber stamp everything. And that's why I think the Vols are whistling past the graveyard on this. And really, it's confusing to the fans because Danny told the fans last spring, look, we're going to tack on a surcharge on your tickets and you're going to pay more. And he's a big revenue guy. He loves his revenue. He loves his numbers. And I think you're speaking out both sides of your mouth there. I think he's confused the fans here, Adam.
Well, and I don't want to speak for Danny here, but just my perception, I do think part of his frustration is the misunderstanding about the system, that how some fans misunderstand the system, and that's where I think he's lashed out on Twitter a little bit. Is that a lot of fans, and it's not their responsibility to know the system; it changes every year. But I think a lot of fans, when they see those financial reports come out yesterday, think that the athletic director can like push a button and suddenly activate more money to NIL.
Right.
He does not. No AD can do that.
Right.
It's capped. All the other money is outside of his purview. He can have influence on the third party money.
Yeah.
But it's outside of his purview. I think some fans think that he's George Steinbrenner that can just say, "Hey, let's just take another $20 million and throw it in there, and we'll pay a luxury tax." That's not how it works. So I think he's frustrated by some of the limitations on him that fans may not necessarily recognize.
As Adam Sparks joins us, we break it down scientifically, moving right to left across your device. All right, Adam, it's this transfer portal thing, just as I get used to this kick returner from Oklahoma State, he's gone. There's a defensive lineman. He's like off to another play. We need a new term for these people, like VFM. We got Vols for life. We got Vols for a little while. Guys that are on your roster, for like a year or so. And then you go, yeah, I remember that guy. He played, and that's kind of amusing. You got Vols who play for a pretty long while, like Squirrel White, and then he gets run over in the end zone up there at Virginia when it all fell apart for Florida State this year. But this new thing we have now for like Vols for a millisecond, you got this Legend Bay kid, Vol for a millisecond, VFM. This kick returner from Oklahoma State, this defensive lineman. They come and go so quickly that it's dizzying, but here we are. We're at the quarterback juncture. Couple questions for you. One, as Adam Sparks joins on our Newsmaker hotline, unsponsored. If you want to sponsor our Newsmaker hotline, get in touch with me. commonfan@gmail.com. I'd love to help you out. We'll grow your business. Adam, what about probation? When does this end? When does probation end?
The last reporting that I found on it said July 13th, 2028. Another couple years.
Damn, as they say in the trade. Now, if they continue to play by the rules and they do that, they're handcuffing themselves through 2028. Do you buy that? Do you buy they're going to do that?
Well, they did have an option of maybe taking this to court, and because Jeremy Pruitt went to court and got his show cause lifted, that they could go and push back and get the restrictions lifted, but they're not going to do that. They're going to finish out the probation. The funny thing is it's not even really in the purview of the NCAA anymore. It's the College Sports Commission, which has kind of replaced a lot of the NCAA in terms of NIL. And again, that's something that was created recently and may not even exist in a year. I think a lot of schools are saying there's no sheriff in town, so let's do whatever we want.
Yep.
And I think Danny specifically is saying, well, the sheriff may be back any minute, and so we're going to make sure we follow the rules until then. And the probation thing, I mean, he was hired, as he said in the piece.
Yeah.
He was hired with the understanding that they would not get into any trouble. I'm sure that Donde Plowman, 95% of Tennessee fans read that and were frustrated by what Danny said. I bet you Donde Plowman applauded it. And that's maybe sort of the disconnect, but maybe the different opinions you have reading the same piece.
But here's the thing, and you and I both know this. They throw up a 6-6 season, and these people start chewing at Donde Plowman. She ain't gonna applaud that.
Yeah, I know,
and that's the problem. That's where the rubber meets the road in this deal. See, the incentive exists for these people to color outside the lines, because if you don't, you're going to get curb stomped in the fall, and that's just the truth.
Well, and we have to understand what Danny's ulterior motive is there, and I think John mentioned it earlier. He wants collective bargaining. He doesn't like this system. He wants the system to go away. He wants to get to collective bargaining as fast as any AD wants to get to it in the country. And any holes he can poke in the current system, he thinks will get them to what he thinks the better system is. It probably is the better system.
Yeah.
But
I agree with him. Yeah, he is right. He's to be fair to him, he is 1,000% right on the collective bargaining. What they're doing right now is untenable. It's stupid. It's bad business. It's confusing fans. Again, I'm in the business of, and you're in the business of reporting this. I can't tell you who's on the roster next year, and neither can you. I mean, we sit here and you go, okay, this guy and the Van Dorselaar guy is now at Oklahoma, and this guy I thought was a kick returner from Oklahoma State, and I was celebrating him. He's now at another. And you just kind of go, damn, I kind of lost track. I mean, it's crazy, Adam.
Well, look at, Monday night's game, Jacoby Thomas is going to be one of the best players in the field. That's a guy who grew up in Tullahoma, was a Tennessee fan who dreamed of playing in Neyland, and, 9 months ago, they thought there's no way this dude's going to leave this team. There's no way. And then he said, no, I think I'll go. And we all thought, I can't believe that guy's leaving. He made the right decision.
Yep.
So kids make decisions in that ways now that maybe doesn't make sense to the rest of us. But that one panned out, by the way. Most of them don't pan out. Jacoby certainly did.
Oh, my gosh. And then you don't think if Tennessee had a do-over? When you watch that kid in the playoffs, Adam, you think they ever dreamed in a million years that he'd be the guy on the big stage, not playing well, like playing like an All-American, laying the leather on people. I mean, he is the hammer on their defense.
Yeah, it is one of those crazy things that if he was in the portal, let's say, this offseason.
Yes.
And Tennessee said, what do we need that we were lacking in our defense last year? He would be their number one target.
Yes.
A physically imposing headhunter, hard tackling type safety that opponents would fear if they got in the middle of the field. And they had him and they let him go.
Bow thy head when you say thy name, the great Adam Sparks. There's close to 350 people watching us live right now over on YouTube, which is a crazy number for YouTube. Those of you that follow that long form, that's a crazy amount of people in the middle of a Friday. It's just nuts. But Adam Sparks is bringing it to the table. We're bringing it. We're talking about this quarterback issue, which is front burner. Now, I like the YouTube comments because there's some smart people in there that are informing me that the Mensa kid from Duke just hit the portal, and the word is, or he's about to, and the word is that Miami is getting, and Mensa, look, maybe the guy's a Mensa member. Look, if I were an agent right now, I would take a starting quarterback that doesn't have a deal with the current school, and I would walk him right into the portal this afternoon, and I would say, hey, Miami, hey, Tennessee, and hey, the school I'm currently at, what is your best deal, Benny Hill? Why wouldn't you do that? Adam, do you believe we see some of that here in the 11th hour? Because Tennessee's been working the phones, and Miami's been working the phones. Talk to me.
Yeah, I know there's certainly that possibility. Tennessee may end up with just George McIntyre and Faison and just a fill-in quarterback at the end.
Yep.
But we don't know that now because there are possibilities of other guys jumping in. We do always see this from the Tennessee side, right? who are they hoping goes into the portal?
Right.
Right now, it's as much as the agent side. It is agents, no Tennessee, in Miami. There's about 3 or 4 schools that are desperate for a quarterback.
Yep.
And they're running out of time. And so agents are aggressively going to their clients and saying, hey, what would it take? We've never talked about you going in the portal, but just give me a number that I can reach out with and say, if you could hit this number, we would maybe go in the portal. And so it's, from what I hear, it's just as aggressive on the agent side right now as it is the teams. The agents seeing an opportunity to cash in and seeing who's biting up there.
And again,
Tennessee would obviously have to make that decision.
Not meaning to step on you there, but it doesn't take a Mensa member or even a Mensa to see that there's a lot of money in getting in that portal today. If I were to, the way this thing is structured right now, if I were to give advice, I would wait till the last minute. Because if you get in the last minute, you are what they call, me in my single days, you would be what they call 10 at 2. And look, that's not a bad thing to be. A 10 at 2 is not a bad thing to be because there is zero population right now when you look at who's left in the portal. Now, maybe there's a couple good players in there. I don't know. But, boy, one of these frontline starters, the Mensa kid at Duke, can you imagine the money he'd command in the 11th hour? If he gets in there, and maybe he gets in there with the interest of going to Miami, and maybe Tennessee throws a $6 million deal at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've thought a lot about, like, you know, who are the top 5 quarterbacks that could jump it, like a Levitt Storesby level, right?
Yep.
But a lot of it at the end here, you're getting guys more that are trying to that guys that will be overvalued try to catch it.
Yep.
So you've got really good mid-major quarterbacks who are established. You've got the elite of the elite FCS quarterbacks, especially those with FBS experience. A lot of guys have jumped down and then can jump back up now. You've got just sort of those, you know, guys that are probably worth $500,000 and they want to see if they can get $2 million. You have guys that are worth $1 million, want to see if they can go get $3 million. And that's more of the calculations that schools like Tennessee has to figure out. Is this guy worth overpaying to bring him in?
Because if they don't, and they end up with GMAC and Brandon, just as a matter of procedural, because I think people just procedural machinations here and the way this whole thing works, okay, the way it's set up right now. As of now, there's only one portal. Now, somebody could challenge that, and again, Adam, I think that's struck down if somebody challenges it. But as of right now, the portal closes midnight tonight? Is that it? Is that the deadline?
It technically closes at midnight tonight, but if you request your paperwork tonight, you can then go into the weekend. Then you have a holiday on Monday. So if you get your paperwork, you could still file and then be into it like middle of next week. You'll see some guys pop in at like Tuesday when you thought it was over tonight. But yeah, technically the deadline to start the process is tonight, which, by the way, so that means you could have guys that are going into the portal.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, you could have guys going into the portal and players on your own team not realize that, and then the deadline passes and they're still on their team. Had they know a competitor was hopping into the portal, they may have also done it too. So you have some schools with some timing, hoping some guys hop in and hoping they can keep their guys from going in.
So this is going to be very interesting. So watch this thing today. Here's the thing. There could be 3 or 4 frontline guys that go in the portal and then go right back to their schools, like Adam says. They're just playing their school for a raise.
Or you could have guys request their paperwork
and
then get raises and never go. Remember Mike Matthews a year ago requested his paperwork and then never went in.
Yes.
You know, you can get to the precipice of that, and then suddenly your current school finds another $500,000 to keep you.
As a matter, Adam, of procedure, let's say a guy requests his paperwork, right? Will the agent leak that to the press in order to put pressure on the school, or would they keep that quiet in order to preserve the quarterback's standing with the fans? Because once you request that paperwork, you're kind of crossing a line of demarcation with your fan base.
Yeah, I mean, I think that depends on how serious the player is going in. I mean, if the player is telling the agent, hey, I'm perfectly fine leaving if the number's right, then yeah, you could go ahead and leak that. But if they say, listen, I don't want to go anywhere, but agent, if you think this is the best thing for me to get more money, then go ahead and do that. But just so you and I know, I'd rather stay. Then you don't leak it. So it really just depends on the situation and how eager the kid is to stay at a school.
Yeah, and the interesting thing as well is that, and again, we're going to see this today, is that you might see somebody kind of sneak in there and they might be related or they might not. Or like Adam says, behind the scenes, you might hear so-and-so's, agitating and they're requesting papers. There's a lot of nervous head coaches right now because they know one thing, and that's that two big fish, Tennessee and Miami, are without quarterbacks, and that is not a good thing. And if Mensa goes in, they're still nervous because one big fish is without a quarterback. And look, there are some good quarterbacks to go around. Tennessee's handling of this has been odd. From your perspective, they obviously were involved with the kid from Cincinnati. They obviously were involved publicly with the kid from Arizona State. They obviously were involved with Ty Simpson. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Is there anybody else that you're pretty comfortable in saying that they were involved with as well, now that we're down to the 11th hour in this process?
No, I think that was the three. I mean, Bo Perbula, they obviously brought in for a visit. They were lukewarm on him.
Okay.
But no, that's the three. I mean, they only had the two visitors. One they liked a lot. The other they were, as I said, lukewarm about. You know, Ty Simpson possibilities was out there for a long time. They love Sorsby. They were too slow in getting him, and I don't know if they would have gotten him anyway.
Too slow. Yep.
With the money that Texas Tech was offering and the situation there.
Yep.
But no, that's about it. I mean, I think they were for the critics. They're very slow. For more of the fair weather or more of the silver lining people, they're patient, and that's always been the case with Josh Heupel in the portal. I mean, like if you for whatever portal ratings mean. Like if you go on 24/7 and look at the ratings, Tennessee's top three in the SEC in average player rating for their transfers. Mm-hmm. They're in the bottom three in terms of number of transfers. Mm-hmm. So that tells you, okay, they go for quality over quantity. That's always been the case. They're always in the bottom two or three in number of players taken in the SEC, but they usually pan out. About 2/3 of them pan out. The thing this year was I think they needed more of that. If you're really good at getting quality, then just go get quantity also. And and if they finish up and get a good quarterback at the 11th hour, I think this is a pretty good portal class. But if they don't, it's one-sided. It's just defense.
Yeah, it's about a C+ is what it is. I mean, and that's okay. But your big piece, because the truth is, they could. And here's the other thing about this, Adam. You know how this goes. They swing and miss here in the 11th hour, and they end up with either Brandon or GMAC. Then comes the GMAC reconstruction project and how great he is and how good he's looking. And, get ready for it because it's coming.
I remember when I asked Josh Heupel right before the bowl him acknowledging that they had to get a third quarterback. He made the joke, well, even Phillip Rivers, I can't just call him and get somebody. He sort of indicated that he sort of left the door open for him to later say, well, we just needed a third as an emergency guy. Now, we know that's not the case because they've tried to get starters.
That's right.
So your behavior says that you didn't think George and Faison were ready.
That's right.
But yeah, if it goes that way, then they absolutely would say we have all the trust in the world in these guys, and that's why we developed them so they could be on the stage, et cetera, et cetera.
For the record, I'll say this. This Mensa guy, if they got him, is a hell of a player. He'd be very good in their offense. He was really good at Tulane. He was really good at Duke. He can run around. He can throw the ball downfield. He would be really good in Tennessee's offense if they could get him. I would put him of the guys they've been involved with at the very top of that class personally. But the early indications are that Miami's walking him into the portal. But again, once you get him there, who the hell knows? Because one thing we've learned in this thing, and Adam, you know this as well as I do, you hear this guy's coming. Now you get the thing where they commit to these schools, and then they still go other places. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we use this term commitment a lot. Is the kid signed or committed when he's going to the portal? I think we need to drop commitment.
Yep.
In terms of portal guys, I think it needs to be more like agreed in principle, something like that. He's agreed in principle to sign with so and so school because
yes,
you do have to watch that. Is the kid signed or is the kid committed? They seem similar, but they're very different.
Do you think the Vols are desperate right now for if let's say Mensa's agent calls them? Okay, are they desperate or are they content to go into next season against that schedule with those two quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, I think there's a number, there's a value.
Right.
You have to consider how much is the player worth, and this isn't just a budgetary thing. Like, do they have the money or not? They have the money for the right quarterback, but are you going to pay? Are you going to pay an okay starting quarterback 3 times what you're paying Faison or George? If you're not even sure if the guy will beat them out in the spring. So you have to do those calculations. You have to think about how that's going to go down. I mean, if there's a $1 million quarterback that jumps in the portal, are you willing to pay him 3? That's a big ask.
That's the truth. That's
right. And then
right.
also, what's your confidence in George and Faison? If you think there's a 50-50 chance that either of those guys could beat out the one that you're about to go buy in the portal,
why do it?
Then you probably shouldn't do it.
Right.
I mean, they would love to just. I mean, the Joey situation, I think, in some ways, gave them some false hope this time because the idea is you can go get a guy who can lead the SEC in passing and just pay low 7 figures for him, and it'd be okay. But that's just not the market.
Adam, you've said so much today. One final thing, and I really appreciate your time, and thanks for sitting with us here and just kind of unpacking all this for us. One thing that I've kind of held out hope for, and you told me off the air that it's no longer a thing, is this 5th-year transfer. See, it all happened so quickly, and I apologize to the fans for this and the living lister for this. I'll plead ignorance here because it all happened so quickly. You tell me they've done away with that 5th-year transfer window in light of this.
I believe that's the case. I have not read that, but I was told recently that that's the case. That that's a new thing that now grad transfers are not part of this. They have to decide in the same portal window as everybody else. Don't hold me to that, but my understanding is that is different this year. That this what you get now is what you get. These are your options, the guys that are going to be in the portal here in the next little bit.
Have they given up on Aguilar on the way out here, Adam?
It'd be more of a Christmas present, I think. If it happens, awesome, but they don't. I mean, the same judge that will rule on that one just struck down the other eligibility case in the Nashville federal court. So there's not a ton of hope. Also, it's going to probably take a little longer for this one to go through. But, I mean, if something happened in the next, few days, they would love for it to happen. It would solve all the problems. But I think that ship has probably sailed, at least in their mind, probably in the last week or so.
Adam Sparks, I find you terrific. I find you tremendous. If folks want to read your work, and congratulations again on that Danny White thing. That was unbelievable. The stuff that was in that is just, I bow thy head when I read that. If folks want to read and interact with you, how do they do so? And plug your podcast. Plug it all, my man.
Oh, yeah. So the podcast is a volunteer state. Me and John Adams will have a new episode early next week.
Yep.
In print, the News Sentinel, online, knoxnews.com, and on Twitter @AdamSparks.
Thank you, my man. Good talking to you.
Yep, good to be on. We'll see y'all.
All right, the great Adam Sparks, some takeaways. 1, Tennessee is still QB hunting. I believe that's true. They're not content into going into the season with those 2 kids. I know some of you, and listen, if that's what happens, I'll practice party politics with the next guy, and I'll blow up GMAC, and I'll have him somewhere between John Elway and Peyton Manning by late in the spring. Actually, I won't, but you see what I'm saying. I'll practice party politics on him. I'm not going to. But they don't feel like he's ready to play right now, and and they don't feel like he's gained weight, and they don't feel like he's going to gain weight between now and then, which is why they're in the spot they're in. 2, the Danny White thing really confused the fans. 3, the portal closes tonight at midnight, and Adam's of the belief that just because you don't see a name between now and then doesn't mean that somebody won't pop out early in the week. There's the Martin Luther King holiday, which is an off day on Monday. By Tuesday, by Wednesday, we'll know who's in the portal, who's not, and it'll be final by then. And remember, this is not a binary drop-dead thing tonight where you either or. 6, 7, 6, 7. It's not one of those deals. It is a situation where it could drag out till Wednesday till we know who's in the portal. That's what Adam just told us. Which, for people like me, that is just, no offense to Chinese torture, but that's Chinese torture. Because I want to know who's in the damn portal, who's not, and who we're chasing. Because all that's going to do is create more things I got to run down, more rabbit holes we got to go down. Brian, what is your viewpoint on this Mensa guy? And Matt Diskin, if I could encourage you to get to the bandstand. And I also want to put out an APB for Negadave, who we haven't heard from in a few days. And Negadave, I'm worried about you. And then if Negadave is out there, an APB for Negadave as well. We haven't heard from Negadave in a while. Brian, what's your viewpoint on this Mensa guy? And I want to say this. If the Vols land him, I want to encourage my friends at Alumni Hall, who are just so next level, to come up with a Mensa jersey that says, let me see what the IQ is. Hang on. Because some of you don't even know what the Mensa Society is. It's like for the geniuses. Hang on. What IQ do I have to be considered for the Mensa Society? You know, you watch Jeopardy, and, okay, 130 or higher. A Mensa jersey that has the greater than sign, 130, would be right on time. Right on time for my friends at Alumni Hall. Brian, what would you think of a jersey like that? Greater than 130. Tennessee jersey, Mensa, greater than 130 on the back.
Well, it's going to be probably eventually you'll see corporations and Lord knows what else, so I would be unopposed to that. I think that would be sort of creative. But I don't hold out any hope that they're actually going to land a quarterback like him because they just haven't shown much urgency. Other programs tend to, I think, have sort of been more aggressive and were willing to pay more. So I don't think Mensa is going to end up at Tennessee. Unfortunately, it's a guy can dream, can he? But unfortunately,
would you take him, Brian? Brian, would you take him?
Yeah, I definitely.
Because there are people ripping him in the YouTube chat saying he can't play. I mean, he would really fit our offense. He'd be a good player in our offense.
Yeah, I would take him, considering he's probably the best QB they could get at this point. That we know of, the best proven one we could get.
I like him better than the guy from Arizona State, Bri. Do you think it's
when
you compare those
he's an ACC championship quarterback?
Do you think it's 6'7", 6'7" when you compare those guys, Bri? Where are you on that?
I think he'd be healthier than Levitt. He's not dealing with some type of a, I guess, what is it, Liz Frank?
Liz Frank, yep.
So, from that standpoint, but I don't get my hopes they're going to actually get him. I guess the Parker Navarro kid would also be intriguing, but he's looking for a 7th year. How do you get 7 years? How do you get to play for 6 years?
I mean, go into the portal, man.
How does that work?
I'm thinking about submitting my name later. 59 years old. I'm looking for a 40, let's see. How long have I been out of school? Damn, if I do the math here, 36th year of eligibility. Mensa is at Duke to the Yinzers. He came from Tulane, where he led Tulane to the playoffs, right, Bri? 2 years ago? That's correct.
No, Tulane did not make the playoffs 2 years ago. They made it this year.
He came from Tulane. He went to Duke. You're right, Bri. My bad. SMU made the playoffs. They were in that. They came out of the ACC.
Boise State was the group of 5 team. And SMU was in the ACC.
It's all coming back to me now. It's gone with the wind.
Mensa is the perfect name for a Duke quarterback. Just the perfect name for a new quarterback.
Come back on the other side. I don't know who this Tyler Gammon is, but if I was a poster over on YouTube, I'd be Tyler Gammon. That's one smart SOB. You know, I know he's smart. His first couple of entries in there today were, man. Tony Basilio, all the people once our coaches and administrators fired. They are the legions of the miserable. They hate everyone that isn't a 5-star. Timothy, I disagree with that. I didn't think our fans hated Joey Aguilar. I didn't think our fans hated Hendon Hooker. Our fans didn't respond to Nico, and he was a 5-star. Bri, did you think that our fans were, once they saw the Nico act and got a glimpse of his father on Twitter, telling us roughly 1 year ago to, what was this thing, re-effing lax. That's what Nick's. Hey, Nick, you relax, you clown. You relax, Nick. You relax. And they're still the reason we're in this predicament, although you can't blame them. But we have so much to talk about. We have an extra segment coming up, no question. We can now have like 360 people in our YouTube chat that continues to grow. And we have 143 likes. Here's the deal. The playbook with William Pattison's coming up at the top of the hour, which is about, 13 or so minutes, whatever, give or take. If I don't see 250 likes on the board by the time that happens, I'm out of here. Because we got to do a post-game show tomorrow after the Kentucky game. That's going to be a long one. We've hit the weekend. I'm out here working hard for my money, Donna Summer. By the way, Jeff Skunk Baxter played the lead, played the guitar break in that, and that is some smoke lead guitar from the Skunkster. As we continue, also plays the lead in Ricky Don't Lose That Number, which is one of the prettiest, most melodic chord melody solos in the middle of a rock song with all kinds of double stops and pulls. And God, every time I hear it, I just kind of go, ooh. As we continue, it's like smooth as butter. As we continue with more after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com. And of course, go Vols.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apple apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. TB back with you. Eat local, eat good. Calhoun's, that's wonderful. We'll be out at one of those haunts soon, breaking it down scientifically, moving right to left across your devices. Tony Basilio, Brian Hartman with you. Sans Bino today. Bino is on an expedition. He's looking for winners. And Bino, I'm getting with C. I'm gonna try and get you some winners here, Beanstar. Pete Thamel, a few moments ago, saying the following on Twitter. Sources: if quarterback Darian Mensah, were to leave Duke, I think was to leave Duke, but whatever. It's a school's understanding that his contract calls for them to have his exclusive NIL rights, and only Duke has the ability to cancel that. I love this era, man. Total, complete chaos. Speaking of which, you got 3 minutes on those of you that are watching us on YouTube. You got 3 minutes to get me over 250 likes, or I'm leaving when the playbook with William Pattison happens. And to quote Bruno Mars, don't believe me, just watch, because I will call it a day. We go back to our phones and get our next call in. The playbook with William Pattison's on the way next. That sounds like Florida right there. Florida, what's up?
What's up, Tony B? How y'all doing,
My
man?
auditory memory is incredible. Florida, I hope you're well.
Yes, sir, I'm doing good, man. Sitting in Hooters watching some Hooter girls. But, hey, did you get those pictures I sent you yesterday?
Of?
Did you get those pictures I sent you yesterday?
No, I didn't. I didn't see photos from you. I didn't get anything
I sent them
from
to
you.
your phone, the video.
No, I didn't get anything from you.
I promise you I sent them to you yesterday.
I didn't get them.
Well, I got to give them back to you, but I got to send them back. But I got them. I'm gonna send them of the quarterback and the receiver, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. But you look here, they said the Duke guy going into the portal today too.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Yeah. So guess what?
Mensah.
Y'all going to spend $6 million on him?
I mean, I don't know.
If you didn't get a guy from with Lane $6 million, why would you give him $6 million?
Well, I think for one thing, you're a little desperate. For whatever.
So are you down with paying that $6 million? I want to know about the common fan, the common denominator, the common guy, Tony B. Are you down with that?
If it's market value.
That's what they're going for, and you willing to pay it.
Tennessee, I think Tennessee's in a desperation mode a little bit. Florida, I think they've been cornered into this because they were slow on the draw with the Sorsby kid, quite frankly, as Adam Sparks pointed out earlier. And I just think that they're in a spot right now.
But what if he come in here, you give that $6 million, Tony B, and he come in here and stink it up?
Well,
because y'all got a lot more harder games next year. You got a lot.
Give me some advice here.
Schedule.
Give me some advice. What about the kid that played quarterback at Florida last year? Florida.
Hell no.
Would he be worth taking a flyer on him?
Hell no. He in the right place to be Baylor.
Whoa. Wait a second here. You told me last year that he was going to be hang right there. You told me he's going to be the MVP of the league. The playbook with William Pattison on the way next. It's unbelievable.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Okay, so I've extended our deadline here. And look, I'm not. You got 327 people watching right now. Here's the deal. I'll make a deal with you, okay? I think this is a fair deal. All you've got to do is sit down there and hit that like button. We got 231 right now. You get me to 300 likes. in 30 minutes, and I'll stay on here and hang out. You don't get us to 300 likes. It is what it is. Florida, why wouldn't we? Hey, would you, Bri? Because it looked like Lagway was going to Baylor, and now he's kind of still toddling around out there. Bri, would you fool around with Lagway if you're the Vols at a discounted rate?
I probably would at this point.
You would, Brian. You would do that
at this?
I would at this point. Yes,
for a discounted rate.
In there.
For a discounted rate, Florida.
Now you're trying to do discount double check.
And you know what
like
we could do?
Rodgers,
And you know what we could? Hey, you know what we could do? You know what we could do? And this is the truth now. We could probably coach a guy up. Josh Heupel knows how to coach quarterbacks. Florida's got. Huh?
Hell no.
The last several Florida quarterbacks started up here and ended way down there.
Tony B, if you would take my advice, if I told you something, and like I said, I'm wrong too sometimes, but if y'all go get DJ Lagway,
yep,
that is going to be the biggest mistake.
Yep.
And that's going to get Josh Heupel fired. Go get him. Hey, listen, I tell you what, I want you to go get him. Please go get him. Because under pressure, he is not that guy. And I saw that last year. He is not that guy under pressure.
Florida,
he's like a deer in headlights.
What do you think of your new quarterback, Aaron Philo, whose father came back and forth to school with me it's originally from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We drove back and forth from the Philadelphia area to Knoxville. Gotta be 40 or 50 times during our college career. The guy got caught in our house. The blizzard of '93. Laura and I were in a 1-bedroom apartment, and he got snowed in with us for a week. The cat was with us for a week, and now he's the quarterback's father at Florida. And I'm gonna root for Florida because of him, Florida.
Hey man, you supposed to root for us anyway. Yeah, that's where you always been, but you just got stuck down here in the country and didn't know what you was doing up there, down here. But guess what? You had to follow the Tennessee Vols. You had to follow.
I was going to root for Florida?
Yeah.
I would never associate with that, Florida. I'm sorry. That fan base, and I don't mean this in a politically incorrect way, Florida, but those people are white trash.
Hey, some of them are.
Yep.
Some of them are, but you got a lot of it up here too, Tony B.
You're a good man, Florida. You're a good man.
I love you.
Hey, when's Megatron back in action?
We're having a 7-on-7 tournament Saturday.
Shout it out. Where's it going to be? What time's next?
It's going to be at Emerald Lonsdale. Emerald Lonsdale.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna be there, and just Tony B. I'm gonna send you these videos now. You got to watch them.
Hey, next time you're down at the Emerald down there at the Bill Sampson Fields, would you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
Tony Vitello left me some stuff, some Philly stuff. Would you do me a favor and pick that up for me?
I got you, man.
Thank you, bro. And then get back to me when you get it.
I got you.
Vitello apparently left me some really sweet swag. So, thank you. 865-200-5402. If you want to hunt, mix, and mix hunt and hunt mix. Let's go to the phones at 865-200-5402. Let's see how we're doing on the length of today's show because it's going to be dependent on how many likes we get. And we got 264, 265. Got to get to 300 or I'm out of here in 20 minutes. Bri, you're hitting a tape like I am. I really want to get out of here. So I hope we fail on that end.
Before we do, the line is out for tomorrow's game. Tennessee is -5.5 against Kentucky.
All right, -5.5. Bri, if I forced you to play that over at VIP Play, where, ladies and gentlemen, go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. You bet 20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. And remember, they're live always, 200-plus leagues. You've got the Sony Open going on late at night tonight. You got my Sixers and my Cadavers tonight. And again, my family, my kids, Laura and I are here, but my kids invited me on a trip. They're up there with their Uncle Rich, and they're up there seeing some folks. And if my nephew Joe's watching, reach out to Anthony and Kaylee. Maybe they'll come by and see you. But they're there right now. They're going to go see the Sixers and Cadavers tonight, the Flyers and Rangers tomorrow. Maybe I'll throw a few shekels. Down on that. But here's the deal. Live Always 200-plus leagues. Numerous bet types, props, options available. If you have a bet in mind, you can't find it in the VIP play team. If it's compliant in the state, they'll make it for you because everybody gets treated like a VIP at VIP play. And VIP play will reach out to me, man. I need to talk to you. 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. All right. Now we go back to our phones. We're at 276, I'm being told right now. We don't get to 300, we out of here in short order. Let's go back to our phones. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in. Bri, what's the line? Because that sounds like Nashville Lee there. Bri, what's the line?
5.5. Tennessee's favored.
Lee,
and
have I?
Who I would play?
Yes.
I would play Kentucky plus 5.5 because I'm always wrong, and that would guarantee the Vols would blow them out.
Damn, Bri. Lee, is that you?
No, this is Josh.
Oh, Joshy boy, what would you play on a 5.5 tomorrow? The line is Kentucky.
I would not play a side. I would play the under in that game.
The under, okay. Bri, do you have a total in the game?
Let me go get that.
All right, Bri's going to find the total. Josh,
I tried to give Bino a winner for tomorrow, Tony.
You know what Bino thinks of your picks, Josh?
I tried to give him your Flyers tomorrow against the Rangers.
Oh, that's a damn slam dunk. Hey, Bino, Joshy boy took him a smart pill because with Anthony and Kaylee in the house and brother Rich, they ain't losing that game. Now they are
45
sucking.
is the total.
My Flyers are sucking right now. They're sucking, Joshy boy.
Yeah.
Laura turned to me last night. We're watching it. It was like 5-2. She said, "How much longer are you going to subject me to this?" She said, "That's enough." She said, "I've been married to you for 33 years, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll hang in there with you and cheer for your team." She said, "This is terrible."
Yeah.
She cut a promo on my Flyers, Joshy boy.
Yeah. So here's what I think the key in the game is tomorrow, Tony. I think the key in the game is tomorrow Tennessee cannot get into a three-point shooting contest with Kentucky. They're going to have to feed the post a lot because I think they can score at will against Kentucky in the post. What's your guys' thoughts about that?
Brian?
The total is 145.5, and yes, Kentucky, they just don't have much cohesion. And I think the Vols should kind of attack them down low, and I think that opens some things up on the perimeter later in the game. And I also think they can, hopefully, if they can just hit somewhere between maybe around 8 threes, 6 to 8 threes, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. Can we do it, Josh?
So 145.5 is the total.
Josh, can we get some consistent guard play? Can we do that? Can we sustain it tomorrow?
Yeah, a guy I've been really impressed with. He had a really good game Tuesday night coming off the bench is Troy Henderson.
Yeah.
I thought he played really well.
Brian, do you give Henderson – how many minutes does Henderson play for you tomorrow, Brian?
He definitely needs to play somewhere between maybe around 15 minutes, 10 to 15.
Yep.
If not more.
Yep.
Yeah. So would you say the team tomorrow is most likely to beat themselves? Would you say it's Tennessee or Kentucky in a close game?
Well, I've got a lot of I don't know, Bri. What do you think? You think if one of those teams beats themselves, Bri, who's this going to be? Because tell me about that, Bri.
I saw them against Missouri the last 2 or 3 minutes of that game, and I'd have to think that if it's close, I'd take the Vols at home. That was in Rupp Arena, by the way.
Yep.
So imagine in TBA.
Josh, boy, you're having a great phone call here. You're breaking it down.
I want to get to the most important part.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have a beef with me over the post game here, because I want to talk to you about this on the air.
No.
You said you texted me. Well, wait a second here.
Okay,
well, wait
Sipardo.
a second, Joshy boy, Sipardo.
All right, Sipardo.
You texted me and you said, "Hey, you cut me off before my call was over, and you got pissed at me, and you cut a promo on me." And I got
Well,
now, hang on a second here. Hang on a second.
All right.
I was at times the other night slow on the trigger with some people. I'll admit that. Somebody went back and heard my show.
I know you got a lot of callers.
Well, no, Mr. C told me and Matt. They said you let some callers drone on the other night. But what I'm trying to do on the post game, which is different than the Daily Show, is I'm trying to get as many people on there and just get in and out.
That's understandable.
And I want y'all to make pithy points and get in and out. But Josh, I didn't mean to blow you up. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings.
You gave this brain donor Sammy in the Ridge 5 more minutes.
He went, "Hey Sammy, I love you," but the other night I went back and I checked the tape. See, Josh, I checked Sammy in the Ridge. You can't babble on like that, like you're in modern day Babylon. You know what I mean? He thinks he's in modern day Babylon. Do you agree with that, Josh?
You need to give these really good callers like Nega Dave more airtime.
So I think Nega Dave got his feelings hurt that I slammed it down on him the other night. I'm kind of concerned about that maybe I ran Nega Dave off the other night. Do you think that's possible? Because I told him to say something positive.
Yeah, you wanted him to say something positive, and we know how that went.
And then he tried to say something positive, and I jammed it on him. And I think.
Yeah.
I don't listen. To quote the great, who was this? Gloria Estefan. I don't want to lose you now. We got to get through somehow, Nega Dave. I don't want to lose you now. I don't want to listen. I don't want to lose Nega Dave now. Now I'm being told over here that Nega Dave gets plenty of airtime. Bri, do you agree with that, or do you think Nega Dave needs more airtime? These are things we can kick around in the third hour now, because we're on my time.
Yeah,
This is my time.
Nega Dave gets plenty, and he deserves what he gets. He's on there quite a bit, so I don't have a problem with that.
I think
one more thing, though. Kentucky will be possibly is not expected to play big man Jaden Quaintance.
Yep, which we found out yesterday.
Jeff Goodman, so
yep. In fact,
that's a bigger advantage inside for the ball.
The belief is that this Quaintance guy, who's been basically an acquaintance to his teammates as little as he's played, the belief on Quaintance, Bry, is that he's probably not going to see the floor again. He's going to shut himself down for the NBA. That's the new area.
Wow.
You pay these guys all kinds of money.
So he's an acquaintance, not a friend of
That's
his
correct.
teammates.
That's correct.
Just an acquaintance.
That's correct.
Tony, are you excited about this national championship game Monday?
Yes. I'm looking for as forward to that as I am any NCAA championship game not involving the Vols in a while. I find this group from Indiana to be absolutely fascinating. Are they cheating, Josh? Do you buy the on-air? Do you buy the what's the word here, Josh?
Yeah.
Do you buy the narrative that they're cheating? Yes or no?
No, I don't think Indiana's cheating. I just think Kurt Cignetti is a really damn good head coach, and I think he actually utilizes what he has on his roster, unlike some head coaches.
See, there are people on our chat that go in there in our fan base that hate on him and say he's not very good.
I love him. He's my favorite head coach in college football.
He's my favorite head coach in college football.
The only thing that is missing after they beat Miami that he probably won't do, I hope he takes a clipboard up Mario Cristobal's ass.
Go! Go! Back to our phones we go. I told Laura, I said, I said I'm going to preserve myself and not yell and scream today because I've been getting really tired off the air last couple of days because I yell and scream, and that exerts a lot of energy when you do gaw, Bri. Do you believe that? You ever tried to scream gaw at the top of your lungs like that, Bri?
No, and hopefully somebody shoots me if I ever do.
But Matt Diskin told me two things about this week's show. He said, man, you let some of those callers drone on too long on a post game. And C told me that too. C said, I flipped your show on, and he said, we really need to process callers quicker. Get as many people in there as possible. Look, I'm going to do better. It's a geophysical year to caller. I'm at 290 likes. I'm not going to belabor this, but if I don't get 10 more, I'm out of here in 15 minutes. It's pretty simple. And if I get 10 more, I might be out of here in 15 minutes anyway because I'm getting hungry. But let's go back to our phones, and we'll get our next call in against that backdrop. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, Tony. It's Jeff from Jonesboro. How you doing today?
Hey, Jeff in Jonesboro. Great to hear your
voice.
voice.
Brian, I think.
Yeah, great to hear your voice,
listen,
Jeff.
I, in November of 24, on the same day that we were at Georgia, which you'll remember.
Yep.
I was up in Annapolis, Maryland with my brother-in-law, and I saw Darian Mensah beat Navy that day.
Yep.
Well, he was playing for Tulane.
Yep.
And I kept, I didn't really have much of I was up there with my brother-in-law.
Yep.
But I was just watching him during the game. I said, he reminds me a bit of Nico, except that he seems a little more solid.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before all the Nico stuff, and I had a favorable impression of Mensah, I guess a little over a year ago.
I have a favorable impression of Mensah. I think he can play. I think he's a smart guy, obviously. I think he would help Tennessee. I think he's a really nice quarterback. I don't know about all the ins and outs of his contract and the stuff that the guy from ESPN's talking about. But at the end of the day, if you can get him, you could do a whole hell of a lot worse. And at this point, I'm not sure you're going to be able to do a whole hell of a lot better. If that makes any. And you agree with that, having seen him?
Completely. I'd take him in a minute, and I think he would be a good addition. I hope that were to happen. He's got a little bit of a weird agent deal. Of course, I guess a lot of people do now, but
Well,
that might be an issue.
One of these kids they were involved with, the brother was the agent, and the brother drove everybody crazy, and the brother drove Lane Kiffin crazy, and then Lane Kiffin decided, you know what, I need to do business with this brother because at the end of the day, I'm not going to get anybody better. And that's what it comes down to, It's like it becomes marriages of convenience here. I don't have to like you. I don't have to, love you. I don't have to, quote unquote, get along with you. What a crazy era we're living in. Isn't this a crazy era, my friend?
Levitt's not going to be available until summer.
That's exactly right.
And why would we put ourselves for $6 million in exactly the same situation we were in last year?
There's a man right there who took some smart pills, Bri. Smart pills. Because that is exactly, you want to talk about a guy that is spitting some truth? That is some truth. Some straight up truth bombs right there.
I'm not comfortable where we are with the quarterback, but I don't mind missing out on Levitt. I mean, that just, nor Prabula.
They're not comfortable where they are at quarterback, and they don't mind missing out on Prabula. Now, they really wanted Levitt, which I think is kind of a curious thing because I don't get Levitt. I just don't get it. I don't get a guy that's with his kind of attitude, and you bring him in, a guy that, damn right well, some people online call the guy you've seen it. They call him a pickup basketball player. That's what he does. He gonna go out and play his pickup. What are you, like a preacher that just wants to get some recreation on the basketball floor? You're a Division I quarterback, man. You can't be out there playing pickup basketball.
He wants to stay in shape, Tony. That's how they stay in shape, some of them.
What are we doing? But
Yeah.
that's the truth, though, man. You and I are on the same boat there. So you
Yeah.
might ought to check your take. You might have a bad take.
No. Oh, listen, about tomorrow, something caught my ear or caught my attention the other night as that was such an excruciating game for me the other night. But something that came through was that Nate Ament played at least some in the second half at the 4. Is that correct?
He did.
And Joshy Boy was just talking about putting it inside on Kentucky. Why? This is a crazy idea, but why not play Nate Ament some more at the 4?
It's all going to depend on Kentucky's size and width and girth and all that stuff and what the matchups are. Ament showed me the other night he could also initiate the offense, which means if need be, because they were doing this at the end of the game, I just flip him the ball and let him initiate the offense. And take your point guard and stick him off to the side and let him just go, man. Why not?
I just think that Nate he seemed to be doing it a little more the other night, but he needs to concentrate on making the shot and not drawing the foul. Because I just, it's just weird to watch him. And maybe he's kind of growing out of it. I hope so. But didn't he play? Wouldn't he have been like a 4 in high school?
He did everything. On the summer circuit, he could really shoot the basketball, which is why Rick Barnes fell in love with him the way that he did. I mean, the truth about him is they thought when they brought him in that he could do everything on the floor for them. In other words, play the 2, play a little bit of 1 like I'm talking about. As it goes along, I'm not so sure. I wouldn't just let him be him as the year goes along, which means I let him play everywhere as the year goes along, as you get him more and more comfortable.
Well, you got to get him going because we're not going to go anywhere without him being himself.
That's truer words have never been spoken, and I appreciate your call. Thank you, my friend.
All right, you all have a good weekend.
Great talking to you in beautiful Jonesboro.
What I do like is he got to the line and he made 9 out of 11. So that needs to continue, whether he makes the shot initially or not.
Damn it, Bri, we have 300 likes. You know what that means, don't
They
you?
always come through, don't they?
Why
it's like
today?
with the Amachi tickets.
Why today, man? When I wanted to get off, why'd I shoot my mouth off?
Well, you still could get off if you want.
Let's look here. $2.99. Man, I'm still in the hunt. I'm still in the hunt, in the mix to get out of here. No, damn it, it's 302 now. All right, 865-200-5402 if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us. And we'll go back to our phones. Adam Sparks was incredible today. I mean, that appearance was insane. Mike Huguely came in here today and said, what? He said Danny White and people like that are accusing people of cheating need to name names. Brad, do you agree or disagree with that?
I do agree, but just from a standpoint of that would create a lot of drama that I'm here for. And that would make major news.
Yes.
I love drama as long as I'm not in the middle of it. But anybody else's drama, I got a front row seat.
Yes. 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 Let's go back to the phones. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
TB, it's Alan, We Ship Floors.
My main man, Alan. How we doing, brother?
I haven't listened to the show today, but I'm going to tell you, I was talking to our boy Frosty this morning. Are we on probation? Are we on probation? Is the university on probation?
Technically, through 2028 is what Adam Sparks told me. Not only on probation, Alan, but we're on probation, you at WeShipFloors.com, for 3 more, count them, 26, 27, 28 season.
I'm just wondering, is Danny White like the Dabo Swaney athletic director? Can we just call him Dabo from now on?
Dabo White.
We'll just call him Dabo
Alan, I'm
White.
jealous of you. I'm jealous of you, Alan. I'm
And
jealous.
what have you done to my boy Negaday? What have you done? What do you?
Hey.
Just because a mint has shown a pulp.
Yeah.
He got mad. He said that and he left. Has he been back?
He has not been back. I've not heard from him. I have not seen him. We have not seen him on YouTube.
You know, we're thinking about having another Negaday promo code. And this Negaday promo code, when you enter the promo code Negaday, we're going to call you back the next day and try to talk you out of your purchase.
Hey, you as a kind of a pretty good donor to the program and traveled every game and the whole deal.
I think we need to fire Danny White.
How did those quotes grab you? Seriously, how did the quotes grab you?
I'm very disappointed, man. I mean, who wants to give money to this program and who wants to pay the ticket prices that they're charging if they can't even, I mean, today's the last day of the portal, right?
Today's the last day to walk somebody into the portal. The portal goes on in perpetuity. So in other words, you can pull somebody out of the portal as you go. Now, there is a deadline for when the semester begins, which isn't just yet. There's a deadline. You know that from having a student. You still have a couple weeks once the semester begins to get somebody in there in a rush if you can.
Right.
But would they have started classes elsewhere? You know, the whole thing's a mess.
My boy Patrick, he's like 6'1", 190. He can throw the rock, man. Can I get him in the portal?
Hey, you could probably call over there and see if you could get him on campus, man.
Maybe we need to get a walk-on, Tony. Come on, man.
Yeah, a walk-on. Hey, I'll get behind it. If he could throw the long ball and run around a little bit.
Could you do me a favor, TB?
Yeah.
Could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Could you hang up on me?
You mean like you host? You're a caller. I tell you what, Alan, you're out of here. Brian, can you do that to a caller or to a sponsor?
You certainly shouldn't do it to a sponsor.
Well, he told me to cut him off. I'm making dreams come true. He said, cut me off. Maybe he's going to, call me up and cancel now.
But you can't scream you're out of here, Adam.
Why? He said, can you do me a favor and cut me off? He wants to feel like what it felt like. Let's go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. Everything goes around here. I love Alan. So Alan's thing is, like a lot of fans, we're really on probation. When I said Monday what they were telling people behind the scenes, people were calling me a liar. He's making that up. Do you still think I'm lying? I'm just saying, I want to just ask you right now. While I take a victory lap here, and I don't want to take a victory lap on this, because I think it's idiotic, silly, stupid, and moronic all rolled into one. First of all, it's stupid to do business like that in this era, because you're handcuffing yourself. And who, outside of a straitjacket athletic director, would want to do that? And the guy's a straitjacket. The guy's a straitjacket. As I've said on here many times, guys like him and guys like me are never going to see eye to eye. When I go to a sporting event, I celebrate the people that are there. I celebrate the crack of the bat. I celebrate the thrill of seeing all these different people together from all these different walks of life, from all these different socioeconomic groups. You think Danny White, for 5 seconds, that's ever crossed his mind? And it's okay. We're all different. But I'll help you out with that. No. You know why? Because Danny White, and I'm not knocking the guy, but for all his life, he's been watching from the luxury box where his father's been an athletic director. He doesn't think about you. The first thing out of Danny White's mouth when he got the Tennessee job, and I've got a kind of a memory, we're going to fix these leaks. He's been ultra sensitive since he got this job. Do you know why Danny White gave Adam Sparks those crazy ass quotes? Because some of you have been badgering him on Twitter. And by the way, Some of you are total pains in the ass on Twitter. Okay? No offense to you. But basically what Danny White is saying is, look, he didn't say this, but this is what he's saying. This is what I get out of it. I've got a 4-year rollover. That is the greatest contract any athletic director has ever signed. By the way, it's the greatest contract in the AD business. And what Danny White is saying is, we're not going to cheat on my watch. They're not firing me for cause. Because I'm going to set myself up for my next stop as a paragon of virtue. Now, if we win here, we win here. But if we don't win here, we don't win here. But I'm going to tell the world that we're doing it cleanly under me so that I can do this. Look, I can kind of wash my hands of this thing. And if we win, we win. And if we don't win, we don't win. You know? And this thing they've done in the basketball arena, I could not be, and I'll admit this, I could not be more polar opposite than Danny White, the way I see sports. I see sports as a wonderful thing that teaches kids about life, where coaches get to interface with these kids in many cases that have terrible home lives. And that's a thing. And show them something else. I see sport where we can use it as a vehicle with that Amachi tailgate. And I'm proud to say that Amachi Brook is now hooked in with the Smokies, who are going to do a night for those kids. And some of my other people around the community. Brad over at Calhoun's, what can we do for you? Al Wilson, what can we do for you, Brooke? What can I do for you? Can I help you? I see sport in that light. I see it from the sense of community. Like Laura the other day, she says, Tony, what? You don't have a sponsor for this third hour. What are you doing? And I said, listen, when I first started doing this, and I was delivering pizza to go do the show at 11 o'clock at night, if you would have told me that I would have several thousand people listening to me from around the world, and it just geeks me up that we get to do this community. And look, you're not always going to agree with what I say, and I'm not always going to agree with you, and we're going to piss each other off, and guys like Alan make me LOL. But man, damn it, I love this stuff. I mean, this is a treat. This is a treat. Danny White doesn't view you that way. He just doesn't. Danny White sees you as a dollar sign. Danny White sees you as an irritant. You've pissed him off. The stuff on Twitter. And he's frustrated the hell out of you. You've frustrated the hell out of him. Which is why he said what he said. I believe that. And he's also setting himself up for his next stop. He's a young guy. And this is not his last stop. He doesn't see this as his last stop. And I'm not ripping the guy, but he's arrogant. And he's better than you are. He just is.
So, when he leaves, can we take a wrecking ball to the entertainment district?
Dabo White might be the greatest thing. Alan from We Ship Floors. First of all, I love Alan because a lot of sponsors down through the years have called in and ripped UT. But they don't want their names used. Alan said, my name is Alan from WeShipFloors.com, and this guy reminds me of Dabo saying things like that out loud. Guess what? Alan's going to have a business tomorrow. It's still going to be thriving, and he's still going to be doing great, and you can tell the truth. People say to me, aren't you worried? What am I doing? I'm serving UT fans. I'm not doing anything bad for the program. We try to make the community better. Hey, it's not for everybody. I get it. People were telling me I was lying on Monday. You're dealing in hearsay. Am I dealing in hearsay now? I'm just wondering. Are we dealing in hearsay? Tony, are you taking a victory lap today? Yes. I said if you pulled the Brent Hubses of the world aside and asked them off the side, or is Tennessee really doing this probation thing? Are they really saying that? They would have told you yes. They would have told you yes. Hey, my job here, and Mike Keith, when he was on with me, he said, Tony, one thing that's true is you have your role, I got mine. Everybody. Hey, my role, I'm going to get up every day. As long as God gives me the ability to do this and put my little mask on, and through my orange cup, through my mask, I'm going to call balls and strikes. And I'm going to celebrate the good times. And I'm going to cry over the bad times. And I'm going to put my mask on right here, my orange cup. And I'm going to call balls and strikes. That's what you're getting out of me every day. And some days I'm going to be, like to the Volquesters, I'll be a superhero to you. And some days I'll be a villain. But you know what? I don't give a damn. I got no shits to give. I don't care. You can say what you're going to say. Do what you're going to do. Think what you want to think. But I'll tell you one thing. We were calling it and keeping it 100 on Monday. Now, where's my apology? Because I want my apology. I want my flowers.
Don't hold your breath.
Danny White saying that out loud is totally, as Alan said, embarrassing. Embarrassing. You know what that's like saying? We're not going to be good this fall. And the reason we're not going to be good this fall is we're playing by the rules. That's like, what do they call that? It's called
preemptive excuse making.
Well, no, something with grapes, sour grapes. Everybody else getting players, but we're not. Everybody else getting players, but we're not.
So they're not getting Mensa.
I mean, bullshit,
they play
Danny.
by the rules.
Bullshit, Danny. First of all, you are getting players. You are getting players. So what are you talking about? I mean, let me tell you something. I keep my cup and my brim, and I take it with me whenever I go to that gym. Okay? Now, I get up every day and I put this mask on. And through this orange cup, I call balls and strikes. That's all we do on here. And we laugh, we celebrate, we get silly, and we help our community. And help our sponsors. We help our sponsors grow. And We Ship Floors Allen put his name on it today. He said, that pisses me off. You know why? Because when I told you, and I tell you on the post-game show that he's one of us, he's one of us. He's one of us. And that whole thing, what Danny White's saying, he told the fans last year, I want more of your money so we can win. Right? People said, okay, we'll sign up. We'll give you more of our money. Now he's saying today, oh, our team's not good enough because everybody's cheating. I mean, what? No. Look. Which one is it? Which one is it? That's all Alan's saying. Alan's saying, I gave you all that money. And I know Alan stroked a big check. I talked to Alan. He stroked a big check to him. Which one is it? Just tell me so I can know. I mean, are we going to compete? Are we going to do, we're kind of halfway in, halfway out? People say, well, Tony, you love this, don't you? Not really. Let me break it down for you, okay? Because Laura said, have you seen these quotes? I said, no. I was putting the blog together. She said, you might ought to look at this. That Adam Sparks piece. We were talking last night. If they choose to not go hard like these other SEC teams are, it's going to kill our revenue here. Now, I would like to think that we've had a couple good years here business-wise because I'm so good-looking. I do think that's part of it. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm sexy as all get out. But when you win, and when Calhoun's is jam-packed down there, this show grows like a damn weed. The misconception about me, well, he wants them to lose, that they can all be miserable. Pull Bino aside, ask him. Tony want the team to lose? Are you out of your damn mind?
You realize that these people you're talking about is a very small minority, right?
I mean, if they lose, okay, and this thing is back in the Butch Jones, you know how hard it was to make a living in the Butch Jones era? Let me give you a little secret here. You know why I'm not doing listener watch parties anymore? I'm going to give you all the time. I do them every once in a while. Because it is so damn grueling to do that. Now, you think about this. You get up. Say the game starts at 3:30, okay? You know you're going to be on for 4 or 5 hours after the game. That is mentally taxing. You go and watch it in a bar with a bunch of people or a restaurant that are pulling on you, tugging on you, talking to you. And I love it. Listen, I love it. But it's like going to a wedding reception. You know how tired you are after you go to a wedding reception? I don't do that anymore because it was killing me. And now we're making some money. You think I want to go back to those days? Newsflash, I don't. So Danny White promises you, if you just will spend this money, okay, we're going to compete. That's what he said. He didn't say, hey, promise you this money, and by the way, we're on probation. Did he? That's what pisses me off. I asked Huguely today and John Adams, if Tennessee truly is playing by the rules, how many schools in the league are playing by the rules? And they said one. Do you think Vanderbilt's playing by the rules? Do you? Why would he ever say that out loud? He's supposed to be a really smart guy. That is a damn stupid thing to say out loud. No offense. He can't stand me. He wouldn't say, and he wouldn't say my name at that press conference that day when I exposed what they're doing with the Lady Vol program and why Tony Vols was all upset. Look, Tony was going to take the major league job anyway. He was going to take that job. But Danny White had zero relationship with him. That was true. And Danny White took a bunch of his NIL money and gave it to his women's basketball hire so she can win. And by the way, she's not going to win at the Clip. She should win. But that's all right. I didn't do it. Danny White is better than you. He's better than me. And the minute we kind of get that through our thick heads is the minute we kind of realize what we're doing. So I go to the phones. Look, he raised a lot of money. I'm going to tell you something. If they don't let the money loose and the product slips on the field and they throw up another 8-4 year or worse, all the money raising is going to dry up. Okay? That's just the truth. Why he would say that out loud makes zero sense. Hi, you're on the air.
Tony, Taylor.
Hey, Tay.
Yeah, you're 100%. Queen Danny is looking for the next big thing, and Tennessee's not it. This is simply a stepping stone for Queen Danny, and he's bigger than this. He's better than this in his own mind. He's a legend in his own mind. He is a introverted narcissist that was born on third base, and he thought he hit a triple.
He really is an odd duck, man.
Well, he's an elitist, Tony, and that's why he loves the Riverside Club. He loves the MVP Club, loves the Rocky Top Club. He's all about exclusivity, the exclusive gates, which almost killed people, no exaggeration, at Neyland Stadium, the Georgia game. I was there. I saw it. It was a debacle. But that's Danny. He's always going to be that way. He's a bean counter. He does a great job raising money.
Great.
A great job intermingling with the elites. The big donors. That's why he's got his lieutenants, the Brady's of the world, to do that. But he likes his ivory tower and likes his lieutenants, and he's not going to roll up his sleeves and get go ahead and shake hands and kiss babies. That's not Danny.
Well, you can't get near him. Like, you literally, people used to laugh at that until they tried. Like, people I knew, they'd go, "Oh, that can't be like that." And you literally can't get near him, and that's why I call him the Queen of England. He is literally like he's in Buckingham Palace. And he thinks he's like commanding, what is he commanding, Taylor? Like he's like in the military or something. He's got these lieutenants under him. He doesn't need
He's
to
commanding the Vol Navy and the Vol Army and the
Yeah.
Vol Marines and Special Forces, Special Ops.
And the Dabo White is a great name for him now in the transfer portal era. Dabo White. Because we're going to participate. We're just not going to participate to the point where we, quote-unquote, break the rules, which, hey, when I first heard that over the weekend from a couple different people that told me this, I said, you know what? I can't say that out loud because the fans aren't going to believe me. And I just said, you know what? Screw it. I am going to say it out loud because it's what's going on. And it makes sense. I mean, when you stop and think about it, it kind of makes sense as to why they're a little slow on the draw. And look, Heupel's not the most front-footed guy to begin with. He's just not. He's just sort of a laid-back guy. Little goofy, yeah. I mean, he's okay, though. He's all right. And so you can certainly win with him. But you're not going to be able to win big when you're handcuffing him like this, Taylor. You're just not.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a senior executive who knows there's an equity event happening in about 3 years, and he's getting his huge payday, and he's not going to take any risk. He's not going to do anything he's going to just steer that vehicle down the highway, not speed, not take any chances, not take any risks, because he knows as long as he doesn't do anything wrong, he gets his big payday, and that's what Danny Dollars is doing.
But
anyway,
that. I know, and that's the other thing. It's like and the reason you know that is he's got a 4-year rollover, and the last thing he needs with the 4-year rollover is for them to fire him a cause. He's got the greatest deal in the world right now.
Yeah. His agent definitely isn't Jimmy Sexton, that's for sure. Tony, moving along, I will say that this is an interesting age of college sports.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting. Do you think, through all your sources and your contacts, are we any closer to collective bargaining now than we were a year ago?
I mean, yeah, by time, because it's going to get there. But is it around the corner? No, it's not. But that is one thing that Danny's right about, and he is right about this. See, he's
100%.
He's not liked in the AD space because he's actually telling the truth there, which is that, hey, what we're doing is not working. Danny White is 100% right on that. Now, for him to take Tennessee's program and turtle up and make an example of us in the middle of this makes no sense. But he is exactly right what he's saying.
But, Tony, I don't know that that's him. I think that's coming from Randy and Donde. That's how they think. And Danny's going to do exactly what he's told. So I'm not sure that's really a creative, original idea from Danny. We know for a fact that Donde Plowman's on the record of having that opinion. So I'm not shocked that Danny also has that opinion.
The opinion of collective
bargaining must happen. Donde was the first to go on record with that statement.
Well, I'll tell you what she is. She's a super sharp cookie. That's what she is.
She's an absolutely one of the best leaders we have had, and so is Randy Boyd. Thank goodness.
Yeah, they're two rock stars. Randy Boyd is a literal pillar. He's a pillar, I tell you.
He's a pillar of the community. There's no doubt.
Yep.
The guy will not take one dime from University of Tennessee.
Yep.
He pays for his own expenses, Tony. He won't even submit an expense report. The guy just pays for everything on his own and doesn't take a dime. How about that for a billionaire?
Do you think Philip Fulmer, as he considers the implications of that, just had a cold shiver go down his spine?
Well, there's not a dollar that Coach Fulmer wouldn't have picked up. But
he looks like
anyway,
one
Tony,
of those guys that gets inside one of those vaults when they throw the money up in the air and they're grabbing it. You know, they're kind of grabbing it as quickly as they can. So great.
Tony, on the way out, I'm going to keep the streak alive.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard that Vitello went to South Korea with a contingency to meet with that stud pitcher, and he was cooking Korean food with one of the renowned chefs in South Korea. That guy is an absolute. That's why he's the greatest. That's why he's one of one. He's going to all four continents that Giants team represents. He'll be there breaking bread with those players, understanding their culture, expanding relationships. He's one of one. Tony, you're the dean for a reason. He's the greatest coach for a reason. G to the B to the O.
And that's why we got each other. That's why Tony Vols got me. Brian, do you expect the baseball program to drop back, or do you expect it to put on more steam?
Well, if they drop back any, it won't be because of talent. They've got as much talent, but I'd have to see.
I mean, like 3 or 4 years from now, Bri. Do they put on more steam, or do they drop back, or stay where they're at, or what's your expectation?
It's hard to tell. I think there will be a perennial tournament team. Now, whether they'll go into the tournament making us think they can win it all, though, I don't know.
Yep. Because college baseball,
I think the infrastructure is in place where they can succeed over there at that level for a while.
College baseball is a lot like baseball itself, which is to say it's very random. You know, the Tennessee team that won the national championship should have gotten beat by, who was it, Florida State on that Friday night? One of the craziest sporting events I've ever witnessed. I mean, it was unbelievable, Andy.
Notre Dame 2 years before had no business coming into Lindsey Nelson and winning.
Playbook Gamer said, poor Taylor and his love for Vitello. Tone, I'm going to miss you, bro. Going to miss you, Tone. Go ahead.
Speaking of baseball, can we just have 2 college football seasons next year? Because Major League Baseball is a complete waste of time. The Dodgers just signed Cal Tucker.
It's ridiculous. I mean, what is the point? I was talking to Clone earlier in the week. He said, yeah, we're getting Kyle Tucker back. And I was like, well, that's cool. Sure you are, Clone. Sure you are. Sure you are. What is the point? What is the point of Major League Baseball? That is such a great point. By the way, I think Elander's very good. I think it's going to be interesting to see what this first year looks like under him. Because they're missing some key components, you know. No Frank. Frank was a huge piece of Tony's secret sauce, and Tony always knew that. No Q, which can be good and bad. Q was kind of a divisive figure behind the scenes. Some people loved him. Some of the players didn't like him at all. So there is that. Fun stuff. Let's go back to our phones. On a day where I ask you, do you believe? Do you believe, Bri, the Vols pull a quarterback into the portal between now and midnight tonight, Bri? Yes or no?
They might pull one in, but they won't sign him because they got to play by the rules.
Uh-oh. See, that's why I don't understand why Danny said what he did. I just don't understand that. You've just lowered your expectations. And you know what? Brian's entitled to feel that way. That's what you just told me. So strange. So strange. 865-200-5402. Let me read a few comments, and then we'll go back to our phones. Razor's Fall. When I was at MTSU, hang on. Let me get a call in, and then I'll read a couple more replies. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Gino Boscombe.
Oh, there he is! There he is, man. I mean, Bri, that made it worthwhile to hang on that long, didn't it?
I guess. That might be a signal we need to wrap it up.
So we have a Braves fan, several Braves fans, obviously, listening to us right now. Here's the thing about the Braves. Nice club. Thought they were getting Ranger Suarez from the Phillies. End up not getting him. And then you see what the Dodgers just did, and it's just so disheartening. You know, the Phillies are talking about adding Bo Bichette. You see what the Dodgers just did? It's just so disheartening. Tony Vols wants to compete in the West. You see what the Dodgers did? It's just so disheartening. Like Brian said. They have no salary cap. This is the last year before the lockout. They have a luxury tax, but they don't have a cap. They don't have a hard cap. Baseball needs NFL-like revenue sharing where they take all their revenues and throw them in a pot and divide them out 32 ways so the Pittsburghs of the world can compete. The Phillies and Dodgers and Red Sox and Yankees and San Diego Padres buying all the players is kind of boring as hell, really, if you want my opinion on that. Versus the NFL, where the best organizations are the ones that win. Hard cap. Now they do have, deferred payment and work around the cap and do things like that. And you take a little less and this, that, and the other. But a friend of mine this year who loves baseball was really cheering for the Dodgers to win it all for cap reasons. Go Dodgers. Go Dodgers. Win and do it again this year. Make a mockery of it so the owners can go to the players and say, hey, man. Hey. We need to shut this thing down. Just go to the players and say, hey, we need to shut this thing down till we can figure out something that works, because that's kind of a broken sport. So, Brian, any final thoughts here on the way out? Or should we let Cattle Call be the last call, or should we take one more call? Because it could be the Cattle Call, because I'm not screening right now, Bri.
It's 2:00. I say wrap it up.
What do you think Mark in the Lumbo was thinking today when he heard our Danny White criticism? He doesn't like the Danny White criticism. Lumbo doesn't. I love me some Lumbo, but he doesn't like the Danny White criticism now.
Well, I wonder if that was before his comments got out to Adam Sparks.
Adam said we're on probation until 2028.
What exactly is probation anyway?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like a 10-year what do we do? Commit a murder? Did we commit a murder? People in the now
Donnie Tyndall's show cause?
Another thing inside the show inside the show, okay? Because people are finding the YouTube thing, and it's fun. It's funny and it's fun. But they say they can tell when I start laughing. When I'm on the air, they say we hear you we can see you laughing at our comments, and it's very true. Because I'm a simpleton and people tickle me. I just looked down, and this guy named Tyler Gammon said Dabo White. The guy. Alan just birthed a nickname. Tomorrow we're on as soon as the Kentucky game goes final. And it's going to be a great day. Tennessee and the Wildcats, anytime they get together, it's just it's a blessed and beautiful thing. I love it. I love those days. Lumbo just said stop, just stop. If that's really Lumbo, that's great. And if it's not, it's even better. You guys make me laugh. The Twitter thing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I need to get outside today. What's it like outside? Is it really cold? Playbook Gamer, our slogan for 26 ought to be 6 and 6 and 26. Why would Danny tell the fans that? Like, if you were in his spot, would you ever say that out loud? I talked to somebody in the deal the other night, and I said, why would he say that? And they said, I don't know. I talked to somebody covers the Vols last night. We were laughing about it. I said, why would he give Adam Sparks those quotes? I mean, for a guy supposed to be that smart, that is not smart. And I know I'm not his cup of tea, but... Oh, okay, 75 degrees outside. I need to get outside then, Vandy Dandy. Thank you. Vandy... What happened to Vandy Daddy? Now you're Vandy Dandy? Is Vandy Dandy and Vandy Daddy two different people? Because Vandy Daddy, if you're Vandy Daddy, we call you VD. Vandy Dandy, what are we going to call you? Like the clap? Hey, listen, I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great and blessed weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's been incredible. Love your show. Appreciate you. Peace. G to the B to the O. Thank you. We love you. All right, we'll run today's show back for the uninitiated here. My gosh, what a show. Y'all make me laugh and giggle. Let's see here what we're doing. I mean, y'all just kind of tickle me. Today's show is just, I just can't believe that the AD would say that out loud. I mean, imagine saying that out loud. I know I'm a troublemaker, but geez. I mean, make it hard on me. You know, make it hard on me to stir up trouble, you know? Don't make it easy on me to stir up trouble. You know what I mean? Because that is That's like a layup for this program. Quotes like that. It's basically like telling your fans, hey, I love you, but I don't love your show. And, the stuff we said about we needing your ticket money and your this and your that, I kind of meant it, but I didn't really mean it. And, let's have an excuse over here, but, I mean, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. All right, here we are. Let's run today's show back now. I got to do it from another device. I got more devices these days. It's kind of unhealthy. White seems to me like, here we go. Peace on your streets. Peace in your Middle East. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word.